Welcome to NASCAR Xfinity Series racing here on a Saturday afternoon at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, Rockingham Speedway, for today's return for the NASCAR Xfinity Series to the Southern North Carolina 1 mile racetrack. And here today, 250 laps. We've got a stacked field for this one, all things considered. The return of Kasey Kahne, obviously our Xfinity Series regulars battling for a championship. A couple of drivers doing double duty this weekend with the truck race yesterday and into the Xfinity Series race today. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting watch. A very interesting truck race yesterday. Came down to fuel mileage in the closing laps where Tyler Ankrum was able to snatch a race win for the first time in 130 races. And coming right here at the Rockingham Speedway in their return, stacked crowd, or packed crowd I should say, specifically for this race as well, sold out of seating for this Xfinity and Truck Series standalone race of the weekend for the KRC live commentary streams. There is no stream tomorrow on Easter Sundays. The NASCAR Cup Series is off this week, so Xfinity Series here on the Saturday. We had our Truck Series race stream last night. ARCA took place here at Rockingham earlier today as well. And CW is where you can watch us visually, but again, full flag-to-flag coverage for you right here on KRC. Cars are already on the racetrack, and they have just checked pit road time, so they should be getting the one-to-go signal very, very shortly. And with that being the case, we'll run through quickly of the starting lineup to begin today's race. Connor Zilisch on the pole should be one of the favorites for this one. He'll be starting on the front row alongside Parker Retzlaff in the number 2. And great start for Retzlaff, his first front row start of the season. Nick Sanchez, Kasey Kahne will line up in row 2. Of course, Kasey Kahne returning for Richard Childress Racing in the number 33 car. HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, I do believe. I was surprised at how quick he was in qualifying. Has not been in NASCAR in a Premier Series race since 2018. So great to see Kasey Kahne back in NASCAR here this weekend. He'll be fun to watch throughout the course of the race here today. In row number 3 will be William Sawalich and Brandon Jones, who is a winner already this season, winning at Darlington a couple weeks ago. Jesse Love with Justin Allgaier are going to make up row number 4. And rounding out the top 10 in row 5, Christian Eckes with Austin Hill. In row 6, Sam Mayer, Ryan Sieg, Sammy Smith, Matt DiBenedetto in row 7, Taylor Gray, Jeremy Clements in row 8, Sheldon Creed, Dean Thompson, row 9, and Justin Bonsignore is back for his third start of the season alongside Thomas Annunziata in row number 10. Row 11 for Josh Williams, Jeb Burton, Ryan Ellis, Blaine Perkins in row number 12. Deep in the field is Carson Kvapil in the 1-4 JRM. He'll be starting in 25th. 26th will be Josh Bilicki in row 13. Row 14 for Daniel Dye, Brennan Poole. Harrison Burton, Chris Wright in row 15. Row 16, Catherine Legg and Austin Green. Garrett Smithley, Anthony Alfredo in row 17. Kyle Sieg and Vicente Salas in row 18. Patrick Emerling, Greg Van Alst rounds out our 38-car field in row number 19 here today. Again, 250 laps is our scheduled distance. We will have 60 laps in Stage 1 and Stage 2. 130 laps is scheduled for Stage 3. One of the longer Xfinity Series races of the season is set to begin. Green flag is in the air, and Connor Zilisch will lead us to the green here at Rockingham this afternoon. Or at least was scheduled to be the leader off the initial start of this race. But I don't think he is up at the field at the very front for the beginning of this one. I believe he had to drop to the rear for the beginning. So sliding up to the front row start, Nick Sanchez and Parker Retzlaff. And because Retzlaff was the highest qualifier, he was the starter. Elected the outside lane for the initial start, but gets beat on the opening lap by Nick Sanchez, who qualified 3rd overall and is able to lead the opening lap. Going green very quickly here today. Usually don't have a pre-race for the truck in the Xfinity Series, but they are not wasting any time at this Xfinity Series race, going live just after 4 p.m. Eastern. 2 laps in the books already for Sanchez as he leads the field. A 2-car breakaway at the front. Side-by-side battle for 3rd going on currently between William Sawalich and Jesse Love. Kasey Kahne lost a spot off the initial start in the 33 car as well. Falls to 5th and trying to keep the 7 of Justin Allgaier behind him. Allgaier washes up into the middle groove of the racetrack through 3 and 4, trying to make the pass on Kahne. Not going to be able to do it. Sits tightly behind him. And Kasey still all over the back of the 2. His teammate for today, Jesse Love. JoJo Delbert Wilson, Earl Arnold Jr., Patrick Shadley, William Fields, Lovey Barkley. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Quick shout outs to those of you that I see in the chat. I'll try to shout out as many more as I can see throughout the course of this one as well. Chat poll has been open since yesterday after the Truck Series stream. So 37 votes have already been casted just minutes into the stream today. And your voting options for today's win will be between Connor Zilisch, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, or somebody other than those three. And after 38 votes, other at 36%, 39 votes now. Zilisch, who would have qualified on the poll but had to drop to the rear for the start of the races at 26%. Justin Allgaier at 28%. Austin Hill at 10%. Justin Allgaier is my race win pick for this afternoon. Took Corey Heim for the truck race yesterday. He looked like he had the fastest truck, but we shall see if the fastest car today can get the win. Fuel mileage came into play yesterday. Pit strategy itself in the final stage did not lay well for Tricon Garage as a whole as a team. Between Gio Ruggiero and Corey Heim, they were 1-2 in the running order, but they were the first and one of the few trucks that were short on gas, had to pit before the end. Instead, they ended up finishing in 8th and 9th place inside the top 10, and they were the first trucks one lap down. Shouldn't see fuel mileage today because the final stage is going to be longer in length than what we saw in the Truck Series yesterday, so the likelihood of trying to stretch it out as long as they did is very unlikely. Want to see Cup cars back at the Rock? Maybe that will end up happening. I do think they're going to have to make some changes to the racetrack to get the Cup Series back here from what I saw in the truck race yesterday. And really, so far this weekend, obviously the Xfinity Series race just started, but they're going to have to enhance the racetrack. They only have safer barrier in the corners, and none of it around the inside of the track except for the back straightaway wall. I believe the front stretch as well, but in the corners they don't have safer barrier down on the bottom of the racetrack, so there's definitely going to have to be some improvements to the overall safety, I think, to get Cup racing here. We saw a hard hit in the truck race yesterday towards the end of turn 4. Luckily, when Matt Mills hit the outside wall the first time, he hit where the safer barrier was and not the concrete. I'm not sure what they're going to have to do to try to enhance that because the track is already narrow as is. So a couple drivers getting up against the outside wall at both ends of the racetrack. Exit of turn 4, exit of turn 2. Just being over aggressive, trying to get back to the gas as soon as they can, and it bit quite a few drivers. Even veterans in the truck series having problems with that in the early laps especially. Nobody of note that has hit the wall significantly yet in this Xfinity Series race. Dozen laps in, and Nick Sanchez has led every lap so far. Carson Kvapil trying to make his way through the field after qualifying 25th. Just made a pass on Josh Williams through turns 1 and 2. Still outside the top 10 is Kvapil. Only up 4 spots to 21st, in fact. Casey Kane on the outer groove of the racetrack, battling with Brandon Jones. Meanwhile, caution is out, as it is the 45 of Salas that is spun down the back straightaway. And you can see the skid marks off the exit of turn 2. Headed for that inside retaining wall on the back straightaway where his car is currently parked in the wrong direction. Definitely seemed to have hit the wall right side. I wonder if he might have hit the outside wall off turn 2 and then spun down the track to the bottom. We'll have to wait to see a replay when they come back to full screen action. This caution took place during a side-by-side commercial break on the CW. There's definite damage to the right side of the 45 car of Vicente Salas. Right front damage, right rear damage. I don't think it's going to knock him out of the race, but there is quite a bit. It'll definitely affect him on the aerodynamics and the speed side of things. Jeremy Granger Jr., Frank Powers, Tim Brown, welcome to the stream. Like Allgaier and you for doing this. So I appreciate you tuning in. I will say there are some hiccups with the CW's coverage of the race, at least on my TV screen. It seems like it keeps pitching to black and then kind of coming back. I don't know of any audio issues that are going on with the CW. You'll have to let me know in the chat for those of you that are able to recognize if there is a problem there or not. But on the visual side of things, it does keep kind of fluttering on me. It'll go black screen for a quick second, and then it'll pan back to the regular feed. And I was wondering if it was only going to do that when it was a full screen action, but during the side-by-side commercial break, it's still doing the same thing. So it's got to be a CW network problem. One-shot deal for Casey Kane. As of right now, I believe so. But if he does have a good run, you never know, he might be able to get more out of it. Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, welcome to the stream also. Caution took place right around lap 13. And they're finally showing the replay on the incident. So Salas was side by side with another car. Tough to tell exactly which car that was. But side by side through turns 1 and 2, there was no contact, which led to the spin. But kind of similar to the Kyle Larson incident if you watched the Cup race at Darlington several weeks back when he spun battling Logano off turn 2 side by side, just trying to hold a tighter wheel down to the bottom of the track. Pinch the car off just a little too much. Too much turn in the wheel could cause the car to break loose like that when you have the transition of the banking to the flatness of the straightaway. And that seemed to have bit Salas. Car got light, snapped out from underneath him, and sideways he went off turn 2. And again, hit the right side wall down towards the bottom of the racetrack. Casey Kane, 45 years old in his NASCAR return. Going through his fitness stats, as the Xfinity Series has been doing all the way throughout the course of the season. I gotta say, Casey Kane, for 45 years old, he does not look like he has aged one day in the last 10 to 15 plus years. Wayne Martin, welcome to the stream. Got a lot of Casey Kane fans pulling for him in the chat. Very impressive in qualifying. Lights are out on the pace car already. They'll be going green this time. Sanchez is on the inside of row 1, which is where he took the lead from on the initial start, despite not being the control car. Sanchez was also able to set the fastest lap of the race on lap number 2 with a 23.699 as soon as he had pulled out to the front of the field. Dash for Cash for the Xfinity Series continues through this week at Rockingham. And our 4 Dash for Cash competitors are Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Carson Kvapil. I believe this is the final week of the Dash for Cash. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I know it was the last week for the Triple Truck Challenge last night. And we didn't have anybody win more than one of those races this year. With the extra $50,000 on the line for the Xfinity Dash for Cash, it's an extra $100,000 bonus. Great restart again for Sanchez on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Not so good for Parker Retzlaff as he's held 3 wide middle. Gets a bit loose off the exit of turn 2. Stacks up the outside line just a bit down the backstretch behind him. Allgaier and Kane had to jump up out of the throttle. Good thing nobody ran into the back of one another there. So a couple more positions lost for Retzlaff as he's just struggling to get going on these restarts. He was on the outside of row 1 both times. That time wasn't the control car, so got even worse of a launch than what he did on the initial start of the race. He was sandwiched between both Jesse Love and Christian Eckes when they were 3 wide. It actually looked like Eckes on the bottom lane of the racetrack was the first to get loose, make contact with the 4, before everybody was able to regather it relatively quick. Looked like they just ran out of racing room. I don't really know that anybody made one more bigger mistake than the other while they were racing 3 wide, just very tight coming up out of the corners. I mean, again, we've seen vehicles get up against the outside wall all weekend so far, and that's when running single file or in line behind another driver, let alone when you're 3 wide like that. Saw an incident in the truck race take place in 3 and 4 when it was 3 wide, so it's definitely a tough racetrack to do that, especially with the repave when you consider it's a primarily 1 groove track, maybe 1.5 at most. Side by side for an entire lap in the battle between Brandon Jones and Casey Kane for the 5th spot. 7th, rather. They dropped back a couple positions off the restart. And Brandon Jones will complete the pass on Kane before Casey hops back in line in front of Sammy Smith. So top 5 at lap 25 of lap 60 here in stage 1 is Nick Sanchez out in front of the field by 0.6 of a second over William Sawalich. Jesse Love 0.8 back in 3rd. Parker Retzlaff is 1.2 seconds off the lead in 4th. And Justin Allgaier is 1.4 seconds off the lead in 5th. Bond1771, welcome to the stream. The Rat Farmer, welcome to the stream as well. Zachary Powers, thank you for tuning in. Quite a few people watching on this Saturday Xfinity Series main event this week. Again, no Cup Series racing tomorrow. Their only off week of the entire season. And we will have more Cup Series coverage from Talladega continuing on next week. I will be at the Talladega Superspeedway for the NASCAR Cup Series race specifically. We will have live commentary content for everything going on Saturday at the racetrack, from Cup qualifying in the morning, ARCA race in the afternoon, Xfinity race in the afternoon, triple header of live commentary coverage next Saturday, but the Cup race on Sunday. I will be there in attendance for that, so no live commentary. And there will be a race highlight video from the grandstand that will be uploaded later that night after the race, as soon as I get back to the hotel and able to edit and upload everything. So usually, it depends on really the Wi-Fi of the hotel. If it's strong Wi-Fi, I can get it uploaded within an hour to 2 hours after the race. But if it's weak, sometimes it doesn't upload until like overnight while I'm sleeping. So it just depends. There's really no time frame on that. I won't know until I actually go to press upload, and it'll tell me how many hours or minutes I have for the upload. Quick enough Wi-Fi, for instance, if I was back at home after a Michigan race, it would upload in like 20 minutes or less. But you go to hotels and the Wi-Fi could be very iffy as far as how strong it is with the connection. Sid Vick, welcome to the stream. Ace Alshire, welcome into the stream as well. So Sanchez is definitely looking pretty. Sporty race car out in front of the field. Again, qualified 3rd, got to the lead. He's actually led every lap so far despite qualifying 3rd. He's had great launches on the restarts. Jesse Love has actually taken over as having the fastest lap of the race. Lap 20 for Love. And the 2nd place position dropped to 23.689. It's 9 1/1000ths of a second quicker than the fastest lap Nick Sanchez had of the race, which he has now his fastest lap at lap 19. It was lap 2 on that initial green flag run before we had the caution at lap 13. That caution was yielded for only 4 caution laps, so it was a very quick yellow, despite the spin and a little bit of damage. And the other 37 cars that started the race out of 38 are on the lead lap. Though Greg Van Al's 21 seconds off the race lead. Lap times for the leaders in the 24-second range, high to mid-23s. So he should be going a lap down very soon. And then we'll begin our first dose of lap traffic here today from then on. Elmer, welcome to the stream. Hopeful, welcome to the stream as well. Who got the speeding penalty? There was no speeding penalties. Nobody hit pit road with the early caution from the front half of the field. So if it was a speeding penalty, it would have been somebody from the back half, and I wasn't listening to the audio at that time. So if there was somebody, I apologize for that, but no notable names had restarted at the back of the field there. Not a lot of tire fall off in the truck race yesterday, maybe a couple tenths over the course of a 100-plus lap run. And the Xfinity Series race here today, it does look like there's a little bit more tire fall off. Jesse Love, for instance, in second place has had about a half a second of drop off. Nick Sanchez has about 8/10 of a drop off, 7/10 that last lap versus his fastest lap at lap 19. But considering that they ran their fastest laps on this last restart after having 13 laps of a heat cycle at the beginning of the race, I don't think we're going to see still that much more fall off. I'd be shocked if it's more than a second over a full fuel run. And even that is going to be tough. 2 seconds behind, 2/10 of a second. 0.22. Now it's 0.334. 2 seconds off the lead for fourth, Justin Allgaier. So again, just past halfway through the opening stage, 18 minutes in. Love has definitely trimmed the race lead down on Sanchez. The longer the run goes, the better Jesse Love gets in retrospect to that of Sanchez. Take a look at the point standings coming into today's race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Thought I had it up on screen already. I was hoping I could just flip over there and it'd be ready to go. Give me a couple extra seconds and I'll have that for you. Big points lead for Justin Allgaier coming into the day. 83 points ahead of Sam Mayer. 7 top 10 finishes in the first 9 races. 7 top 5s, in fact, in the first 9 races as well for Allgaier. And that's why he's got such a big lead. You can score as many as 61 points in a total race if you win both stages, win the race, and get the Xfinity Fastest Lap bonus point award. So, big lead for Allgaier. Mathematically, he'll be the leader even if he finished last with no stage points today. And Sam Mayer were to go on, win both stages, and win the race. And that probably is going to happen because Sam Mayer's been nowhere towards the front of the field for the early going of this one. Jesse Love comes in the third place in the point standings. Austin Hill fourth, and Connor Zilisch rounds out the top 5. 4 of those top 5 in points have a win. Sam Mayer, the only one without. Ford still in search for the first win in the Xfinity Series this season. Carson Kvapil is up to 6th in points without a win. Brandon Jones does have a win. He is 7th. Sheldon Creed is 8th. Ryan Sieg 9th. Sammy Smith rounds out the top 10. 12 drivers make the Xfinity Series playoff field, and right now in 12th is Harrison Burton, ahead of Jeb Burton by just 2 points. So very tight battle. We've had a couple drivers not running for points in the Xfinity Series full-time this season that are not eligible for the playoffs that have stolen wins. Kyle Larson last week at Bristol. Eric Almirola running part-time in the Xfinity Series. He got a win on a photo finish back at Phoenix earlier in the season. Battle for the lead continues with 20 laps to go in Stage 1. Jesse Love is within a couple car lengths of our race leader, Nick Sanchez, and has been really ever since they went to commercial break midway through the stage about 10 laps ago. Justin Allgaier still leading our Dash for Cash race in the 4th place position. Brandon Jones in 8th will be the next closest on the Dash for Cash race in that $100,000 bonus. Don't have to win the race to win the Dash for Cash, just have to beat the other 3. Kind of same scenario as what you would see in the Championship 4 race at season's end for the title. Silent Al Scribe, welcome to the stream. Casey Kane driving Hendrick Motorsports RCR Chevy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an RCR Chevrolet with Hendrick backing, which is why he's got the HendrickCars.com sponsorship on it, if that makes any sense. I know RCR and Hendrick Motorsports have had an alignment with their engine program at Chevrolet for years now. So it's an RCR chopped race car, but there is Hendrick backing with the sponsorship side of things. But it is not a Junior Motorsport Chevrolet entry, which would be more linked to Hendrick than what RCR is. If that makes any sense. So Sanchez is definitely not slowing Love's times down too much. Since Jesse has caught the 48 in the dirty air, hasn't been able to get within a car length and a half to maybe take the air off the rear spoiler of Sanchez's race car. Every time he tries to change his line to that middle groove of the track, he can't close in. So he's kind of forced to having to run the bottom directly in line behind him. It can't inch closer. Needs the 48 to make a mistake, and that just hasn't happened to this point. Sawalich in 3rd, though, is not gaining ground on either of these two. Sawalich, that last lap, was actually more than a tenth slower than our race leader. Love with a big gain in the middle of turns 1 and 2 this time, and now gets to the back bumper, and he did take the air off the rear spoiler. Finally was able to get close enough. A big power slide up turn 2 for Sanchez, and Love shoots to the lead clear of Sanchez into turn 3. Didn't touch him. He got close, but didn't need to touch him. Close enough to take the air up off the rear spoiler. It was more towards the exit of the corner where the cars are going to be at their lightest as they come off the transition from the banking to the flat of the back straightaway. Great save, by the way, by Sanchez to keep the right rear from tagging up against the wall. He continues onward in the second place spot, but now we have a new leader for the first time today. Technically our second lead change because Sanchez did not start on pole and led the first 40-something odd laps to start the race. And now this is technically our second lead change with Jesse Love out in front, but our second different leader. 44 laps led for Sanchez to start. Lap 45 was the lead change. Jesse Love out in front now. Must have been a big enough slide. Sanchez lost quite a bit of time. He was already half a second behind Love after the pass was made for the lead on that same lap. And Justin Allgaier in the 7 is starting to close the gap now from third after he had gotten by William Sawalich around the same time that Jesse Love had taken the race lead away from Nick Sanchez. And Allgaier will move into second place. Quick, clean pass for him. Sanchez falls to third. Trying to hang on for every spot he can with about 11 laps to go yet in stage 1. Another side-by-side commercial break currently airing on the CW. Top 5 has Jesse Love in the lead. Justin Allgaier second now. Nick Sanchez third. William Sawalich fourth. Casey Kane in fifth. That is the top 5. Brandon Jones, Christian Eckes battle for position. Jones with a clean pass through turns 1 and 2. All clear. First corner he caught him. He makes the pass. Ten laps to go in stage 2. Stage 1, rather. Sanchez is definitely lacking corner entry speed. He's given up a lot of time to those battling behind him. And speaking of the battle behind him, we've got a crash, and Casey Kane is involved. Not sure how heavily, but he took a big hit to the 53. William Sawalich was trying to catch Nick Sanchez for third. Ran right into the back of the lap car that Sanchez cleared into turn 1. The contact sent the 53 car, which was the lapper, in the way of the 18 as Sawalich sideways. And in the midst of trying to miss the crash, Casey Kane clobbers. I believe that is Garrett Smithley. Catherine Legg. Catherine Legg in the 53. Apologize for that. Smithley's in the 14. Legg is definitely out of the race. A lot of fluids coming out from underneath her machine. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there other than it looked like Sawalich drove it in way too deep, misread the difference of speed between himself and Legg, and ran right through her. It's also hard to tell whether Catherine had to lift a little extra compared to what she was before that took place.
And I don't know, as we were riding on board with Williams Walsh, it just looked like the 53 overslowed that corner by a lot. And I mean, we were on board with William, and it just didn't, it seemed odd how much she slowed down. She's been put in a really tough position here, being in this car after not obviously practicing this car, jumping in it for the race. Obviously, a lot of sponsorship.
That's a hard hit, too.
Behind her there in this race after they missed it. And it's just not an unfamiliar race car, already trying to learn the Xfinity Series at a really tough racetrack. And to be put in this position with the leaders trying to go by, fortunate. For Sawalich, well, and for Sawalich, just having once again, he was having a great run, gets this damage. I really don't think any fault of his own. And then for Casey, obviously just trying to go by it, really unfortunate.
Yeah. So when we saw the aerial shot, and you can kind of see everything unfold, it looks like the 18 just ran into her. But when you were riding along with William Sawalich, He's right behind Nick Sanchez, and when Nick pulled down to go to the bottom, it was like Street just all of a sudden appeared. So the perspective in the car is much different than what we see here on TV.
I'm going to go back, though. Justin Allgaier had been able to make his way up to second. It doesn't, if he could be right in the middle of this. So that exchange we had after Jesse Love was able to get the lead away from Nick Sanchez, it changed a few spots inside the top 5, and that's what created the running order when this incident took place.
It's unfortunate. He was really the end of that run. We were just referencing, like, man, if they can get the bounce of that car a little better at the start of a run, he was, I thought, the fastest car the last couple of laps on the track.
Well, then all of this happens with 6 to go on the stage. Actually, I mean, it was 9, 6 to go now. You wonder, are we going to be able to get this thing turned around, get it restarted? And right now, I would guess no. And that, I mean, this is stage could end. And that also maybe takes away a strategy opportunity because so many drivers talk about flipping a stage and all that. If you don't get things cleaned up in an open pit road, then that would take away a chance for someone to flip the stage.
And someone who'd be hoping for that opportunity is Zilich, Quapple, who have made their way through the field sort of well, but it's been a tough slog getting through the field, so they would definitely that opportunity out. Yeah, and everybody's paying attention to, especially Zilich and Quapple, as we mentioned, because it's 2 great cars starting in the back. Just how hard was it, for those guys to drive up through the field? We see how difficult it is right now. Everyone's going to do what they can for strategy to try to get the best track position they can, possibly give up the fifth race.
Yeah, we've not received word official yet, or as far as playing out the rest of this stage, and if they'll do so under caution, or if in fact we can get things flipped around and go in. I look at Jesse Love though, and here is someone that starts out the year so good at Daytona and was the model of consistency. Had those couple of weeks outside the top. Last week, when you look at the Chevy teams, he was the best of the non-Hendrick Motorsports JRM Chevys. He was very, very good last week at Bristol. Just missed an opportunity for cash today, and he showed up with a lot of confidence and showing why. He is leading this race under caution for the second time, and a couple of good cars taken out.
Yeah, tough break there. So again, to detail the incident that took place, turn 1, Nick Sanchez, 3rd place position, battling with William Sawalich, who was in 4th. Casey Kane was very close behind in 5th. All 3 of them were approaching the lap car of Catherine Legg, headed towards turn 1. Sanchez was able to pull clear to the bottom of the racetrack getting into the first turn. Catherine Legg, who was in the second groove of the racetrack, was, out of the way at the moment, slower, obviously off the pace. 18 is Sawalich, who was running just a little bit off the inside line, clipped her in the left rear, misjudging the difference in speed between the two. It did seem as if Legg had slowed down maybe a little more than what we were expecting, or what I should say Sawalich was expecting, getting into the corner, which is what led to that contact. Spun her sideways in the midst of her sliding sideways in the center of 1 and 2. Casey Kane had clipped. Again, he was in 5th place right behind Sanchez. And Sawalich had clipped the 53, so that's where Casey Kane got his damage from the incident. Hole in the nose as well of the 18.
Sensitive points. He just wants to build confidence in his young drivers today. Will fix that right front. You see the crew paying attention to it right there. He was building tight for that incident, though, Dylan.
And Justin Allgaier, who was running in the 2nd spot, that said the car really good. They're going to do right side tires only. Jesse Love, the race leader, said they create building tires. So a mixed bag of strategy here.
Oh, contact in the pits.
Nunziata coming into his pit stall. Love exiting. There is contact.
So there were a few cars, by the way, that did stay out of the pits. I think Nick Sanchez is going to be the leader on the restart. He stayed out. He was running, obviously, in the 3rd place position, as I mentioned already, at the time of the caution. The contact on pit road, Thomas Annunziata was trying to get into his box as Jesse Love was leaving his pit box. He swung out. Annunziata trying to swing in. They make door-to-door contact. Doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on either car, and thankfully no crew members were in harm's way at the moment, but definitely a dangerous situation anytime you see contact in the pits. No matter what the pit road speeds are. 35 miles per hour here at the Rock. So with them opening pit road when they did, we should get a restart before the end of stage 1. Sanchez, Retzlaff, Ryan Sieg, Jeb Burton, Matt DiBenedetto, Anthony Alfredo, Jeremy Clements, Kyle Sieg, Daniel Dye all stayed out. So 9 drivers did not hit pit road. Justin Allgaier in 10th will be the first driver on 4 fresh tires, and he's only going to have 2 laps to try to cut through the field, get as many positions back. I don't think he's going to get all the way to the front. Should be able to get at least a handful of spots, but not a lot of tire fall off and not a lot of time to get back out in front of the field. So we'll see who's going to win this stage. Nick Sanchez has been great on the restarts, in the restart zone specifically. And both the start and the first restart we had after the first yellow, he was side by side with Parker Retzlaff, and that will be the case again here. Retzlaff should be on the outside of row 1, Sanchez on the inside, again, just as we had the last couple of times. And actually, no, Retzlaff will take inside row 2, and Ryan Sieg will be outside row 1. So a little bit of a inverse here of Retzlaff not wanting to take the front row. But again, Sanchez has nailed the first couple restarts. I expect him to do the same here. And if he does, with only 2 laps and the drivers that are around him in the running order don't seem to have anywhere near the speed the 48 car has, I think this is Sanchez's stage to win at this point. Norman Timmons, welcome to the stream. Frank R. BVRG, welcome to the stream. Easy Network, thanks for tuning in. Rico92. And many others. If I haven't shouted you out, greatly appreciate you tuning in here on this Saturday Xfinity Series Rockingham afternoon. Green flag is in the air. Another great restart for Sanchez as predicted. A little bit of bottlenecking going on in the bottom lane around row 4 or 5. Justin Allgaier got stacked up. Meanwhile, on the outside simultaneously, he gets way wide out of the groove and loses several spots and falls out of the top 10. So now he is no longer the first driver of those on 4 fresh Goodyears. That would be Carson Kvapil in the 1 car, who challenges to the inside for 6th. Final lap of the stage at the front. Retzlaff was able to get to 2nd after taking the inside of row 2, and Ryan Sieg, who was outside of row 1, slided in line in 3rd just behind him currently. 1 more corner to go, and Nick Sanchez is going to be able to hold on, so Nick Sanchez will win stage 1 at Rockingham after starting on the pole, leading about 50-plus laps. Great start to the day for the 48 machine. Parker Retzlaff in 2nd for stage 1. Ryan Sieg 3rd. Anthony Alfredo 4th. And Jeb Burton rounds out the top 5. Kyle Sieg in 6th. All of those top 6 stayed out to get those stage points during the pit stops we just had towards the end of the stage with the caution at lap 51. Carson Kvapil, first driver of 4 fresh tires, should be the leader on the next restart, but finishes 7th in the first stage. Matt DiBenedetto, Jeremy Clements 8th and 9th. They stayed out of the pits. Brandon Jones also on fresh tires and a full tank of gas. Should restart at the front of the field. He was 10th and gets the final stage point for stage 1. 3 lead changes so far. 3 cautions. This is our 3rd lap 60 stage break. 2 for incident in stage 1. Lap 13, lap 51 were the cautions. 11 laps ran under yellow so far. And again, 60 laps in stage number 2 coming up just like we had in stage 1. That is your race analysis through the first stage of today's action at Rockingham for the North Carolina Education Lottery 250. You're listening live on KRC. We have 57 likes on the stream already. Greatly appreciate that. Our like goal was to get to 50 before the start of this race, and we're already after more than 50, I should say, just after stage 1. So greatly appreciate that, everybody. Let's see if we can double that total and get to 100. We actually did get to 100 last week on the Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series live commentary stream. So be sure to hit the like button so we can run that like counter up as much as we can. It helps these streams out a ton, helps push the content here on the channel. We have live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend for Truck, Xfinity, Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. And we'll have action coming up again next weekend at Talladega because, again, no Cup race for tomorrow, so this is the last stream of the weekend. But we'll be live 3 times next Saturday, triple header, Cup qualifying in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We will have the ARCA race soon after that, followed by the Xfinity race after the ARCA race, all from Talladega. And what we would usually have for live commentary on Sunday during the Cup race. We will not for the next 2 weeks. I will be at the Cup race at Tega. I'll be at the Cup race at Texas. But everything going on Friday, Saturday at the racetrack will be streamed right here on the channel for both of those races still. Again, Sunday specifically, when I'm at the Cup Series races, there will be race highlight videos from the grandstands uploaded onto the channel later those nights. Give you a feel for what it's like to attend a race from a grandstand seating view. Post individual clips of maybe something that I end up catching throughout the course of the event on camera. But there will also be a full compilation video of the full race highlights, which is usually in that 20, 25, 30-minute range. Thoughts on Quapple starting 25th, finishing 7th in Stage 1. Yeah, that's great. Again, he was first of those that are on the strategy that are probably going to stay out of the pits during this pit stop during the stage break. So he's going to be the leader after starting 25th, which is impressive. Quick pit stop, obviously. There weren't many fast cars that stayed out. The only ones were really Nick Sanchez and maybe Parker Retzlaff because he did qualify in the front row, but even Retzlaff was sliding. He wasn't even in the top 5 as that last caution came out. Suzanne Huggins, welcome to the stream. Kyle M704, thanks for tuning in. Also be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Mentioned to hit the like button already. We are very close to 6,000 subs on the channel. Chris Davis, welcome to the stream. CW is where you can watch the race visually. But obviously you can listen here live on KRC, this YouTube channel. We are 39 subs away from 6,000. Let's see if we can get there today. It might be a little bit of a push. I know many of you watching are probably subscribed, but if you are not, again, live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend. If I'm attending the race, there will still be content from that said race uploaded and still live commentary throughout the weekend because usually when I do go to races, it would be only the Cup race. Thanks for the sub, Kyle. Yep, happy early Easter to everybody. Of course, we've got Easter tomorrow. Yep, got the diecast collection behind me. End of Stage 2 will be our diecast showing per usual here on the channel. Pit road will be open this time. Everybody that stayed out during the last stop should be coming in. There were 9 drivers that stayed out. Be topping off on fuel, probably taking 4 fresh Goodyears.
Kim Kuhn leads us all.
And let's follow that orange and white machine of Stage 1 winner Nick Sanchez. They decided pretty early in that last caution they were going to stay out to get those value. That safe win. Nick reporting he was too tight center exit. He said, "Thank you, go free, but you're not going to fix that." Crew chief Patrick Donahue electing to take a half round of wedge out of the left rear. They'll put those 4 fresh cars on. Oh, Dylan.
Right side of the screen, Ryan C. just said that he was tight under loading and asked for a little bit more help with the rotation of the car. You see the wrench going in the back window there to make a chassis adjustment. Slump has run up front after qualifying up front. He just asked for help getting his entry slowed down. Was too loose there. Said his exit wasn't bad, but they'll put a half round in the left rear, 4 tires and fuel for the forward.
All right, so Retzlaff and Sanchez stayed out. They got their stage points, finished first and second in the stage. They started first and second in the race. Justin Allgaier also came to pit road after losing quite a few spots on that last restart. I remember he got shuffled out of line on the outside, battling for about 10th place. Not sure of exactly how many positions he lost, but it was quite a few. Far enough back in the pack, obviously, that he decided to come back in, change tires again, top off on fuel, at least to try to get ahead of that side of things. Allgaier was as high as third. He was as high as third before that second caution came out. So now he's going to be well outside the top 20, while his teammate Carson Quapple will consume his first race lead of the day. Brandon Jones is going to be second right there with him. Then you got Taylor Gray, Christian Eckes, Sammy Smith in the top 5. And the few spots just behind them, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, and Sam Mayer. L_love_offers. Welcome to the stream. Still rather listen to commentary even though I'm watching it on TV. Listen to my commentary? Well, that's cool. I think if you're able to sync up the audio from the stream live with what you are watching as much as you possibly can, that would probably be your optimal experience of being able to watch the coverage from this YouTube channel every NASCAR race. There is a slight delay from YouTube to where what you might be watching on, whether it's another streaming platform, cable. In this case, all you need is an antenna to watch CW for most places in the US at least. But if you're able to sync that up, that would be the optimal viewing experience. If you're looking for a visual aid to follow along with this live commentary stream. Alan Talent, welcome to the stream as well. Hello to you too. Patty at Rumdy Creations, welcome to the stream. CW is blacked out in Boston area. I know they've had issues throughout the season with the CW being blocked out with NASCAR racing in certain areas of the country. I don't know what dictates what weekends block that coverage out. I think it's going to become even more of an issue later in the year when football starts back up again, because I know CW, I think, has ACC football every Saturday, and obviously most of these Xfinity races take place on Saturday afternoons, Saturday evenings. So there might be a lot of scheduling conflicts with that when we do get to the fall. I know there was at the end of last season when the CW took over the playoff races. I do also know that the CW app, in some areas of the country, you are able to view the race there, but not everywhere. And I did hear in the rumor mill side of things, and several reports saying that they will have Xfinity races full flag-to-flag coverage on the CW app at some time by the middle of the summer. So if you haven't been able to visually watch a CW NASCAR Xfinity Series race yet this year, at least on the app, you'll be able to watch it from the middle of the season onward, working out some kinks to be able to have the full viewing experience nationwide. There's still some bugs that they're working on that is why it's not at the full availability there yet, like it is with, I believe practice and qualifying has been on the app all season. CW is showing gymnastics, that stuff. Yeah, I think the biggest complaint with the CW, from what I've heard, is that they're just not able to view the race. I will say I have not had an issue with it personally all year. I've been able to watch every Xfinity Series race. For one reason or another. Maybe living in the Toledo, Ohio area has helped me with that. It's not a huge, I mean, it's a metropolitan area, but it's not, like, we don't have any professional sports teams that would kind of overlap, I guess, with the action here. And I guess when you look at college athletics, like the MAC isn't going to be on the CW. So if I was on the East Coast where maybe ACC sports would take over there, I haven't had an issue with that either. So I think that's why I haven't had any of the same problems that other people have had when trying to watch the race. It hasn't been blacked out for me, and I don't see it honestly ever really being blacked out. Getting to the restart for stage number 2 here. I will say I've still been experiencing issues. I'll wait until the next commercial break and try to log out of my Hulu account and log back in on my TV, just to make sure it's not the CW that's having the buffering issues. But I think it is the CW, because I have backed out a couple times already. So any pauses you heard during the pit stops, that's because for some reason it seems like the play-by-play is skipping on the CW. And I think it's a CW problem specifically because it's taking place during the commercial breaks too. The green flag is in the air. Great restart for our race leader, Carson Kvapil, able to get ahead of Taylor Gray, who was on the front row with him off of turn 2. Connor Zilic, who qualified on the pole but had to drop to the rear of the field for the start of the race, is now up inside the top 10 for the first time. He's battling for 9th with Austin Hill. Kvapil leads his first green flag lap of the race in the opening green flag lap to begin stage 2. He is now the highest rounding of the dash for cash drivers. Justin Allgaier, who had to make that extra stop during the last pit stop outside the top 20. The other 3 dash for cash competitors in the top 5. Brandon Jones 3rd, Sammy Smith in 5th. Jesse Love still has the fastest lap of the race, which was set back on lap 20 of a 23.689. And not anymore. Never mind. That is now a 23.668 at lap 72. Carson Kvapil has just set the fastest lap of the race with the first time he has had the clean air this afternoon. So battles going on in the middle of the pack. Couple Toyotas. Justin Bonsignor making a pass on Dean Thompson. Thompson loses another spot as well. It looks like to the 44 of Brennan Poole. Kvapil also battling inside the top 10. Sorry, not Kvapil. Zilic in the 88 is underneath the 41 of Sam Mayer. Zilic gets really sideways through 3 and 4. Maybe a slight bit of contact with Sam Mayer, minimal at most. Able to keep the car underneath him. Mayer went just wide enough through the center of the corner to give Zilic enough room to try to make that save. Rushing the pass attempt almost got Connor Zilic. We've seen several drivers in the truck and Xfinity races already overcharge the entry on the bottom. They'll clip the apron just a little bit, wash up the racetrack. And they'll lose a lot of momentum with that being the case. It's very difficult to pass here, especially with the new asphalt. And it being a primarily one-groove racetrack, not a lot of tire fall off with that as well. And that's why we've seen drivers overstep trying to make the passes, whether that be middle of the pack or for the race lead, especially when it's not the fastest car out in front of him, which really has been the case. Why we saw so many lead changes with the pit strategy in the truck race yesterday. 4 lead changes already in the first third of this Xfinity race. Kvapil leading, he's not pulling away from either Taylor Gray or Jesse Love behind him. Now, Love was actually able to take the lead under green flag conditions away from Nick Sanchez, who led the first 44 laps of the race. But then when the caution came out with 10 laps to go on the stage involving Catherine Legg and Casey Kane, not Justin Bonsignor, but William Sawalich in the 18 car as well, the 3-car incident. Love was one of the cars that hit pit road. So he actually ended up restarting outside the top 10. Had a slow stop as well. Went to leave the pits and had contact with Thomas Annunziata. Had to come to a complete stop before getting back going to leave pit road after the fact. So he has recovered again to 3rd place, but that is how he is not in front of Kvapil and Gray where he had been for most of the day before that. So there's a very good possibility Love has a faster car than the 2 he's battling with in front of him. A couple laps ago, Love regathered himself as the top of the speed charts with having the Xfinity fastest lap of the race. Now it's a 23.545. He also just made a pass on Taylor Gray for 2nd that last time by. Ryan Sieg, who restarted just outside the top 10, just had to come back down onto pit road, may have had a loose wheel from the pit stop under caution. So Sieg will fall off the lead lap after finishing 3rd in stage 1. 36th a lap down for Ryan Sieg after making the unscheduled pit stop. NASCAR Nerd 22, welcome to the stream. So Kvapil and Love lead the field. That last lap, Jesse Love, after making the pass for 2nd on Taylor Gray, was about 0.08 of a second quicker than our leader, Kvapil. Might not be very long before he's able to get out in front of the field and pace him once again. We'll go through the full field running order of this race, lap 85 of 250. 3/10 of a second lead now for Quapple over Love as Love continues to close that gap. 900s quicker that last time by. Taylor Gray's already 1.9 seconds back in third, and Brandon Jones is 2 seconds off the lead in fourth. Fifth place is Sammy Smith. Sam Mayer behind him in sixth. Seventh is Christian Eckes. Connor Zilich eighth. Sheldon Creed ninth. Austin Hill rounds out the top 10. Josh Williams in 11th. Harrison Burton 12th. Justin Bonsignor 13th. Dean Thompson 14th. And 15th is Brennan Poole. Williams Sawalich 16th. Parker Retzlaff 17th. Jeb Burt 18th. Ryan Ellis 19th. And 20th is Justin Allgaier. Jeremy Clements 21st. Blaine Perkins 22nd. Anthony Alfredo 23rd. Matt DiBenedetto 24th. Kyle Sieg 25th. Austin Green 26th. Daniel Dye 27th. Nick Sanchez 28th. Thomas Annunziata 29th. Josh Balicki in 30th. Patrick Emmerling 31st. Garrett Smithley 32nd. Chris Wright 33rd. Greg Van Alst 34th. Casey Kane, first car lap down, currently in 35th. Then Ryan Sieg 36th. Vizante Salas 37th. Only driver out of the race, Catherine Legg 38th. So if you're wondering if Casey Kane is out of the race following the incident with Catherine Legg, no, he is not. He is still running, though quite a bit of damage to that right front. He is still on the racetrack. Team made enough repairs to keep him out there. We'll just have to wait to see if he can get track position back, and obviously see if he can get back on the lead lap as well. Again, currently in the free pass spot. Big open hole, though, on the right front. I mean, that right front tire is exposed, so aerodynamically, not great for an intermediate track. It's basically an overgrown short track here at Rockingham. It's 1 mile in length. The banked oval higher speeds make it race like an intermediate, kind of similar to that of Dover, but much more tighter through the center of the corner for here versus Dover. Very tight off the exit and entry to the corner like Dover would be. Not quite as fast top end speed either, with it being an asymmetrical racetrack.
See, Love is right there. It wasn't quite. It was H1. It was Nick Sanchez, but that 2-car just seems to find his way as we go over the course of a run.
Adam, but the one thing that I've noticed about, when Sanchez was out in the lead, he picked off the car lane. Well, you see the one car doing it a little bit right there too. I think if Carson can keep that left front on the line and not give Jesse Love that sniff of air, or he can get that little bit of run and pack some air on that, be okay. Oh, the one car is starting to move around. That's interesting. I would not give the 2-car the bottom. And the spotter needs to tell him that, like, even though it might not feel good on the bottom, that's where the pass is going to be.
And I see that out of Jesse first, because we saw him doing that when he caught the 48 stage 1. He was moving around, diving in the corner a little bit, making a lot of speed doing it. Now he's just wrapping the bottom really successfully. But I expected if anyone was going to move up first, it would be him, and then Carson would react.
Hey, by the way, prior to going to break, Ryan Sieg had made that unscheduled pit stop. He had a vibration. Dylan confirmed the tire was cut. He's 2 laps down in third. Ryan Sieg.
How much lower than Supar can run? You get that left front right on the white line. That gives him a little bit of clean air, and all he's trying to do, he's not trying to complete the whole pass. He's just trying to get as close as he can to the one car to get the one car push him up off of the bottom. It's
how he got to the lead on Sanchez.
You have to be really disciplined by the 2 cars. You see the one getting loose on the exit. I think if he can do this for 2 or 3 laps, it'll work. Carson bottom.
I would say the psychology of it, Tim. I mean, you just are more aware. And there's more opportunity for a mistake when someone is right in your hip pocket.
And they probably told Carson on the radio he has 4 tires, so you already kind of feel like you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. So psychologically, yeah, it breaks you down a little bit. But if Carson can stay on the bottom, not give him that little bit, he's got a shot right here.
I think that your point and what he did earlier, when he gets using that bottom, turning a little bit lower than the one, he gets to pack that air. There's nothing Carson's able to do to combat that once he gets that air pack behind him.
What you hope is, if you're the 1 car, is that if he runs enough laps behind you, that his balance just goes away. He gets the tires hot, and it's almost like the 2 cars kind of recouping right here. If I'm close here, he's going to drive. Carson gives it to him a little bit. Saw that the 2 was going to be on the inside of him. This lap car can play a factor, though. I mean, if you're the 2 car, you're going to kind of watch the lap cars. Where are they running? You want your spotters to see your line based on where they are.
Wappel hangs on, gets back to the bottom as they work around the 45, the lap car south.
I think Jesse made a good choice there. He saw the 45 there. Force. It's going to be a really tight spot for both of them. He sort of backed out, letting Carson Quapple get back to lead. He knows he has a super fast race car. He can make this pass. He did it earlier. He just needs to be patient.
Jesse Love exiting, has the contact with Annunziata, and you're like, what did that do to his race car? Maybe they lost some track position on it, but more importantly, was there any damage? The car seems to be handling just as good as it was earlier.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, Jesse's going to get a little bit impatient here to get by the one car, because right behind them is Taylor Gray, who's starting to catch. You see, he gets to the inside right here. He's going to be in the preferred lane when they get down to turns 1 and 2. Carson's probably not going to race it too hard down in 1 and 2.
He really drove it in. It's going to work for him. He's going to clear. Carson looks back to the inside.
Think Love kissed the wall. Off 2.
How many times have we seen a dance today? Several different leaders have got it sideways, had to hang on. Love had the lead, but gives it right back. And Waffle taking advantage of the issue that he had coming off the corner.
Awesome stock car at the Rock. Seen it for years now. Back to the inside on Carson here. That's going to be real tight on the exit.
Well, Carson knows he's not good enough on the bottom compared to the 2, so he's searching around, just trying to find somewhere on the track he can get some grip. I'm shocked, though, that he raced Jesse so hard. I thought that he was going to concede that position to him, let him have it right here, but he knows how important.
And I think there's a beautiful. He's going to give it up easy, right? That was so close on the exit. Jesse Love actually kissed the wall a little bit.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, if these guys keep racing the way, up quite a bit of ground on them. Brandon Jones, one of the Dash for Cash guys, is running them down 2 or 3 tenths a lap. So as these guys are racing, it's bringing in 2 or 3 more players. We're going to have 4 cars here before too long.
And I just saw Jesse Love's hand inside the cockpit there move to make a brake bias adjustment. So he's making adjustments inside that race car right now to try and change the handling. Let's go quick phase of the corner to get another run at qual.
Good little battle right here for 3rd and 4th. I mentioned Brandon Jones being the fastest car on the track the last 2 laps. As Jesse Love and Carson Waffle stopped racing, the lap times have kind of leveled out. But
hey, look at Allgaier. I mean, we talk about 3 of the top 5 going for the Dash for Cash. Allgaier track. They made that second stop to get those left side tires once they fell back on that restart a bit ago. He's picked up 13 spots since the restart, make it 14 now. He's up there knocking on the door with the top 15. Really, really good job by the 7 car.
Good speed out of the 7. And not a surprise, in the first stage, we saw he was able to make his way through traffic better than a lot of the guys have.
Inside of 20 laps remaining, stage number 2. Carson Waffle out front of Jesse Love, but the racing good at the front.
Just over a tenth of a second lead for Carson Quapple over Jesse Love in 2nd. Brandon Jones 7 tenths back in 3rd. Closing in on the battle for the lead. Taylor Gray 4th, 1.1 seconds back. And Sammy Smith rounds out the top 5 in 5th, only 1.4 seconds off the lead. 1.7 seconds to Sam Mayer in 6th. Connor Zilich in 7th is 2.4 back. Christian Eck is 4.3 seconds off the lead in 8th. Sheldon Creed is 5 seconds off the lead in 9th. And Austin Hill rounds out the top 10 at 5.3 seconds back. As the top 10, the intervals between them. Battle for the lead continues through lap traffic. Trying to use the 5 car as a pick. Chris Wright on the outside trying to stay out of the way of the leaders. Jesse Love was able to get to the inside for a brief moment in turns 1 and 2 underneath Quapple. Couldn't complete the pass. Love slid sideways just a bit off the exit of turn 2. Trying to keep it off the 1 and race him straight up, race him clean. And again, Carson Quapple holds on to the lead. 15 laps to go in stage 2. Another lap car upcoming. Garrett Smithley, I believe, in the 14. Quapple and Love will get by him on entry into turn 3. Brandon Jones is less than a half a second off the lead. It's about to be a 3-car battle for the front of the field here. Late in stage 2. Oh, big problems for Connor Zilich in the 88 as it looks like he has gotten up against the fence in turns 3 and 4. He's very slow on the front stretch, entering turns 1 and 2 on the outside. Trying to get out of harm's way and get back down onto pit road. Right front tire appears to be flat on the 88 after contact with the said wall. Still green for the moment. Jesse Love goes wide through the center of turns 1 and 2. Loses time on Carson Quapple. Brandon Jones has ran him down even more now. Jones clean air down to the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4. Gets to the inside of Love, side by side for 2nd on the front stretch. Love on the outside, Jones on the inside, into turns 1 and 2. Jones steady around the bottom. Love trying to hold him tightly as they get to the exit of turn 2. They'll drag race down the backstretch. Jones trying to side draft the left rear corner panel just a little bit. Love hangs into that middle to upper group through 3 and 4, trying to get the run on exit. Can't break clear of the 20, still side by side on the front straightaway. And we've got another car against the wall, turns 3 and 4 even harder. Caution is out this time, and that appears to be the 41, no, the 00, the other Haas car, Sheldon Creed. And that is a very big hit against the wall. Again, caution flag is out. Our 4th yellow of the day, our 3rd for incident, the first caution for incident in stage 2. Just over an hour into the race, lap 109 of 250, and approximately 11 laps to go in the stage.
12 laps to go, stage 2, NASCAR Xfinity Series here in Rockingham, and we had a whole lot going on while we were at break. And we'll start with the reason we've got our 3rd caution of the day. Make it caution number 4. This is Sheldon Creed who's got damage.
Right, he actually got hit by the 19 down in the
Gonna bail Connor Zilich out.
It gets super loose. We talked about how
Gets to stay on the lead lap.
it's by itself if you enter low, but also having a car on the outside. We also had the 88, Connor Zilich, who had a flat right front. Who
Second
got
flat,
yeah,
yeah.
second flat of the day. The first one was right after he won the pole. That's costly. Then we'll look back here. If you look at the top of your screen, top of the right, there you see the black blue car. He's going to get loose and right up into Sheldon, knocks him in the wind. Not you there. Yeah, it wasn't like he was pinching him. Justin just got loose.
Yeah, and nothing malicious on the 19 of Justin Bonsignor either there. Just got loose, getting in turn 3, and if Creed, there would have been a big impact into the wall for the 19. Actually, it was a buffer, but unfortunately, most likely ended Creed's day.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing we have to cover here is this battle for the lead and lap drifting.
Epic.
And I thought for sure Quappo's going to lose the top spot.
Well, and they were being pretty patient for a while. And then as we caught these lap cars, you see
Splitting the lap cars 4 wide.
Racing the leaders really hard, trying to stay on the lead lap. This got tight. You see the one car, I've been really impressed. Look at how he's able to get back to the gas on the exit right there. Jesse got loose inside of him. I've been really impressed at how Carson's been able to manage that outside. But the guy that both of them need to be worried about is the yellow number 20, Brandon Jones, behind him.
And Carson's such a chill guy. He's so relaxed. I feel like his heart rate never really gets elevated, and he's such a cool, calm character. But right there, through those moments, 3 wide into turn 1, he's a higher heart rate than normal.
Thing and all of that too. You go by Chris Wright, you put him a lap down. Eventually, they got Garrett Smithley. So Smithley's going to get the free pass here, which means Casey Kane loses that opportunity after those other guys go a lap down. And look at Brandon Jones.
I think Casey's going to get it, though, at the end of stage 2.
Joe Gibbs Racing.
I think he'll get the free pass for that caution.
Just got off to a start. For the last month and a half, not only did he get the win at Darlington, but just their consistency has been remarkable. He's Dash for Cash eligible, and today just right in the game.
Yeah, and momentum's everything. And I think, and Parker and I talked about this earlier, his belief in his crew chief, Sam McCauley, that's everything right now. When he gets out of the car, it's the first person he thanks, and you can tell he genuinely, everything he was able to get his first win with Brandon Jones earlier this year. I think this is a great pairing for these two.
When we talk about confidence, we talk about it's this elusive thing. You can't really put a number on it, right? Yeah, they did in some respects, but you can see it in real time. And for Brandon Jones, you know his confidence was down the last couple of years when he wasn't able to get back to victory lane. But to come back to Joe Gibbs Racing, get a win, and run, you really see that confidence in real time going up.
The other thing I would say, a little bit of chip on the shoulder. Because when he won at Darlington, he talked about the fact there were some people that didn't believe in me. And you referenced this, Parker, but I hate this for Connor Zilich because they had worked their way from the back. He's going to start on the pole, flat tire. He has to start in the rear, drove his way up to 7th. And with that number 1 pit stall, could have had an opportunity. They get the flat. He is now 2 laps down, being shown in 34th.
But he'll get the wave around right here, so all these guys pit in front of him, and then just be 1 lap down, and you can recover from that.
Progressive Pit Road is a busy place, Kim.
And Brandon Jones in that right Toyota jumping the track position to start the final stage. He was reporting tight to fire off and through the run, getting a little bit of front chatter. He said he is better on exit, but the whole corner could use some work. You saw that chassis adjustment as the 4 fresh Goodyear tires go on. Next go fuel, Dylan.
Tim will win as well after a good battle. Jesse Love there in the 2 car just said that he was tight center exit. They took 4 tires last time here, changing the right side adjustment as well. They'll go around sides as well. Carson Quapple said he was trending loose, but the car had good roll speed. They put lights on that first stop. They'll put 4 on here, which Carson said, reminder, that'll free us up. So they made some adjustments to counter for that.
We knew pit road was going to be big today, and the race off progressive pit road, Brandon Jones, +2.
There were quite a few that stayed out, though.
Spot, Love, Go, Gray, and the rest of the top 5. By the way, 7 cars did stay out here as we watch how close this race was coming off the pit lane. So this is very similar to what we saw at the end of stage 1. You flip it, try to get some points, and Jamie, you referenced too, maybe some guys doing the wave around knowing another caution is coming and you can service it.
Yeah, the one thing that I would be adamant today, if I were a spotter or a crew chief, is do not speed on pit road. I know that we want to gain all that we can and how important that is, but you can't take you have way the back at a track like this that's so hard to pass at.
With all these leaders pitting, that just tells you, we're talking about track position, that's how important it is right here. To pit right now, all versus keep that track position by pitting now.
You know, the day this announcement was made about coming back to Rockingham, there was so much excitement in the NASCAR community. And what's it going to be like? The weather's been great. The fans have come out, 30,000 strong here to see this race this weekend.
Look at that.
It's exactly
Awesome.
incredible. And like you've gone back in time, not because we hadn't raced here in 20 years, but just all the elements that come with racing at Rockingham. And what a great aspect. The train that makes
This is so cool.
Raleigh. I mean, can you imagine going to Raleigh, hopping on the Amtrak and coming in for the race? How old school is that?
It's a great time. I love you can ride a train to Yankee Stadium, New York. But I never thought about going to a racetrack by a train. That is so cool.
For $52.
Really?
You can go
$52.
both ways. $25 one way, 52 both ways after taxes. And we saw fans doing it earlier this morning, making the arrival. And what a great way to make your way to the racetrack.
Well, guys, just a quick update on Casey Kane. Just monitoring a couple things inside the car. I think Casey was talking about it being hot in the race car. So just trying to confirm for sure if that was him talking about being hot or if he just felt like the temperatures were hot. But you see that right front. Sometimes that gets into some of the cooling things, and obviously it opens up the engine a little bit. So just double check. He said the car is not bad. The only thing he reported was just that it had some smoke on landing, but otherwise it's not good. Otherwise it has been okay. They're just trying to get back on the lead lap still.
Well, he talks about the heat, so it's a perfect time to do our race fit health report. But Stree,
I love the turkey sandwich is good, fries. I love the post race. A little water.
Turkey day.
To my Budweiser, please. The consideration, but I think Casey's always kind of been the epitome of hell.
Look at that, 75 race sprint cars scheduled. Wow. Those dirt racers are nuts. I can't believe how many races they do. Some races in a year.
And I know Casey mentioned that car not being that bad. It's because he can't see what the right front is like. Because when you come to a track fast like this, you're going to want all the aerodynamics you can have, and not having the right. There's not.
Did you know if he starts to go fast, there's some aero people that are sitting there putting their head down like, oh, no way. How's that possible?
88 back in, Dylan.
And this may just be a strategy move here, even though they're a couple laps down, just to try to get things to and make any sort of adjustments they need on the 88. You guys talked about it. Such a disappointing day after so much promise. They'll go ahead and change the left side tires here. I think they just changed rights when they had that problem, so maybe just going to put the lefts on here and make it a full set. But what could have been for sure for the 88?
Yeah, you said it. What might have been for the rookie Connor Zilic, who showed off his talent yesterday in qualifying, but is not going to allow it to be paid off. Now our race break brought to you by Safe Light, the auto glass experts. A recap of what Connor Zilic has faced.
Yeah, the flat tire in qualifying, had to go to the back, kind of drove his way back up to the top 10, and then to have the right front flat here late in the race. And he's 2 laps down. He's not out of it, but what he has to have is not in the truck race. He doesn't see this race go green. He wants to have multiple cautions. There's not that many people a lap down. He's 2 down, though, so all the guys that are 1 lap down will have to get that lap back prior to him getting any of his back.
I thought the wave might happen there, but sometimes, depending on where you are, those options don't present themselves when drivers stay out. And that's what we've had in this situation. 8 drivers, 7 stayed on the rail in this cycle. So it's going to be Dean Thompson who's in the race lead. He's up there with Jeb Burton. We talk about the points that team needs as they play the game right around the cut line. Kyle Sieg, throughout the year, he stays out. And Brandon Jones, who won the race off pit road, is 8th prior to the choose.
Yeah, and you got to remember, we're not even halfway yet. So these guys have some traction,
but they're going to have a lot of laps left. There's probably going to be a lot of stuff happen the second half of this race based on what we've seen so far today. This is a big opportunity for Dean Thompson and Sam Hunt Racing. It came into this race 17th in points, 25 below the cut line, 10 points on offer here. If you can get the stage win, that'd be huge. Yeah, and if I'm Jeb Burton's spotter, I'm telling him, look, they have struggled to now on this restart. You need to try to time this out and be prepared that they're going to probably spin the tires.
Good look at the field via our Celsius onboard camera. Now we look at driver Jeb Burton. Stad Ward got his first career win here in both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. We'll have to join him as Rockingham winner here today.
All right, Dean Thompson, Jeb Burton will be the front row for this next restart. We will have 3 laps to go in stage number 2. Green flag is in the air. Thompson, the control car on the inside of row 1, gets the push from behind by Jeremy Clements. 7 cars stayed out of the pits. We had 9 that stayed out during the first yellow, but only 7 this go around. Jesse Love on the outside, 3 wide, exited turn 2, trying to race with Carson Kvapil, getting by the 28 of Kyle Sieg. Brandon Jones in the 20 just in front of him will be the first of those that hit pit road during that last stop. Ty Rub on the left rear of the 2 might have made a little contact down the back straightaway with Kyle Sieg, who was underneath them 3 wide. Several 3 wide battles going on in the front stretch, entering towards turn 1 in the middle of the pack behind them as well. Everybody getting through unscathed for the most part here. Not a major tire rub on Jesse Love, but something to monitor with a couple laps to go in the stage. 1 lap left in the stage this time by. Top 5 are still all of those that stayed out of the pits during the last caution. Brandon Jones might be able to get to 5th here through turns 1 and 2 as he looks to the inside. 3 wide move to the bottom of the track this time for Jesse Love. Slides past Kvapil, slides past the 28 of Sieg. Kvapil gets clear of the 28 as well. Taylor Gray now trying to do so through 3 and 4. Panning back to the front of the field as they exit turn 4. And Dean Thompson going to steal the stage here at Rockingham. Stage 2 winner Dean Thompson in the 26 for Sam Hunt Racing. Jeb Burton 2nd in stage 2. Jeremy Clements 3rd. Matt DiBenedetto 4th. And Anthony Alfredo 5th. Brandon Jones 6th, Jesse Love 7th, Carson Kvapil 8th, Kyle Sieg 9th, and Taylor Gray will get the final stage point in 10th. I believe that's the first stage win of the Xfinity Series career for Dean Thompson. And the stage 1 winner being Nick Sanchez earlier. That was also his first career stage win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Of course, he is a rookie full-time in the Xfinity Series this year. Same for Thompson. Rebel Soul, welcome to the stream. Great racing. Yeah, it has been a pretty good race so far, I will say. Thought the truck race was good yesterday, but I think this Xfinity race has exceeded that so far. Still have the second half of the race to go as we're through the first 2 stages. Stage 3, 130 of the 250 laps, making up the entire second half of this event. So still far out from our final fuel window, which is just under 90 laps of green flag action for a full fuel window here at The Rock. As we're at the end of stage 2, we'll close our chat poll, which has been open since yesterday after the truck race, in fact. 117 votes were casted for who you think is going to win today's race. Justin on the way at 38% of those 117 votes. Somebody other than Zilich, Hill, or Allgaier getting 34% of the votes. 15% for Connor Zilich and Austin Hill at 12%. Allgaier has not led a lap yet today. He has been as high as 3rd in the running order. Was trapped back in traffic for much of stage 2 after having to hit pit road multiple times between late in stage 1 and then at the very end of the stage. He is currently 16th. He was my pick to win the race as well today. But he's got a fast car. Just have to see if he can get to the right side of strategy before the finish. And yes, because it is the end of stage 2, it's time for the diecast showing as well. And for this weekend's diecast showing, I've got a number 3 car. It is Austin Dillon. And this is from his rookie season in the NASCAR Cup Series back in 2014, excuse me, 2014. And this was his Daytona 500 car from that year, in fact, with the rookie colors on the back. I like this Cheerios paint scheme. It kind of reminds me of the Transformer Bumblebee a little bit with the black stripes. It looks like a Camaro. This is the most Chevy Camaro looking paint scheme I feel like I've ever seen in the NASCAR Cup Series. Is this Chevy? And it's not even a Camaro. That's the funny thing. It's actually an SS, but it looks like a Camaro. Just with the colors of the car. Because again, it reminds me of Bumblebee from Transformers. But Cheerios has always had some pretty good paint schemes over the years in NASCAR. The 43 car for a long time. Bobby Labonte, John Andretti. Always really liked those Cheerio cars. It's the only Cheerios diecast I have. But yeah, Austin Dillon, former Xfinity Series champion. Went winless that season and winning the Xfinity Series title as well. He ended up getting a couple wins the following season in his second year before going full-time Cup racing back in the early 2010s. So that's our diecast showing for today. I've had no duplicates yet this year. Trying to keep it that way as long as I can. All right, so pit road should open this time by, and everybody who did not hit pit road to stay out and get stage points at the end of stage 2 should hit the pits this time, and that is going to cycle the likes Carson Kvapil, Taylor Gray, Sam Mayer, and Sammy Smith all to the front of the field.
Here we have about 100 flip overs. Got some pit stops. Progressive Pit Road is open. Dean Thompson and others coming down, Kim.
Yeah, and Dean Thompson getting that stage winning joke. That's how Freddie, we met spotter Freddie Kraft with the Cup Series being off. Freddie on vacation, so Greg Sump filling in as spotter this weekend. But Dean also saying just a tick free in, but then lose the nose at the 3-car. Get putting on the right side. He said he tightened up with the heat cycle. He got chattering on the landing through the center, so looking for just a little bit freer condition on that machine. 4 front fender tires, snow go feel take well.
So these are the drivers that elected to stay out when that caution came right there inside of 10 laps to go in stage 2. They get their scheduled service. And we look at the race off Progressive Pit Road. All these drivers going to be deep in the field when we return to the green flag with those that stayed out. Thompson wins the race off, +2 for Matt DeBetto. 8 cars all made.
Yeah, track position game here today, just as it was yesterday. This is where the strategy really comes into play, is in stage 3. Cautions have been structured very similar to what we saw in the truck race towards the end of the stages, kind of splitting the strategy up a little bit. You have drivers getting stage wins that haven't led a lot of laps today. I guess Nick Sanchez did lead a lot of laps in stage 1, but he got the stage win because of strategy. And in this case, Dean Thompson wins stage 2 using that same strategy Sanchez used back in stage 1. So we'll take another break. You're listening live on KRC. Again, NASCAR Xfinity Series action at Rockingham Speedway. The running of the North Carolina Education Lottery 250 continues. Second half of the race still to come. Our quest for 6,000 subscribers on the channel continues. We're still 37 subs away from $6,000. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It's free of charge, doesn't cost anything, but it does help the channel out a ton. Helps push the content. Same with hitting that like button during these live commentary streams, which again, we do every NASCAR race weekend. And even though I go to some races throughout the season in person, Talladega next week, for instance, we will still have live commentary for all things happening on track at Dega Saturday, just not on Sunday next week, and then obviously for Sunday race highlights again from the grandstands. Triple header next Saturday for our next set of live commentary streams. Qualifying, 10:30 a.m. in the morning. ARCA race will be later that afternoon. I believe at 1 p.m. Eastern is the ARCA race, and then 4 p.m. Eastern for the Xfinity Series race next Saturday. I'll Google the ARCA start time just to be safe, but I'm pretty sure it's at 1. Cletus McFarland going to be back in action again. Oh, 12:30. Okay, never mind. See, I'm glad I looked that up. So 12:30 Eastern next Saturday will be the ARCA race. Cup qualifying at 10:30 Eastern in the morning. Just our 3rd morning stream of the year. And Xfinity at 4 p.m. Eastern later that afternoon. Double check at Xfinity, but I'm pretty sure that would be at 4. Yep, 4 p.m. Eastern for Xfinity next weekend. Triple header. Our 3rd triple header of the season. Our first since the first 2 super speedways with Daytona 500 Speed Week. That Saturday afternoon we went live for a triple header, and then Atlanta the next week on Saturday we had a triple header, but haven't had one since the 2nd NASCAR weekend of the season. Yeah, ARCA on FS1. CW, obviously, for the Xfinity Series. Amazon Prime carrying Cup qualifying. So under the yellow, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, who will be on the front row for this next restart. Who will get the jump as we are about to begin stage number 3. We'll be at lap 129 of 250 on the restart. Again, fuel window just under 90 laps of green flag action, so they are still outside the window for those that pitted during stage 2. Love still has the fastest lap of the race as well, 23.545. Into the restart zone, Brandon Jones trying to get the launch. Green flag back in the air. He's on the bottom of row 1. To the outside is Jesse Love. Carson Kvapil right in line behind Brandon Jones. Off the exit of turn 2, side by side for the lead. Jones still hovering strong down on the inside. Kvapil now to the outside through 3 and 4. Jesse Love, oh, we got a spinner. Rear of the pack, the 18's around. Gets collected by a couple of cars with brief damage. I believe the 11 of Josh Williams had just caught him with the right side of his race car. Kind of straightened Sawalich's car out, really. More nose damage to the 18 than what we even saw earlier in the race. Bowed in enough that the left front is rubbing, the tire that is, rubbing on the fender. Outside 3 wide, getting into turn 2 for Sawalich. 2 cars underneath him come together. Nowhere to go for the 18, and it was the 11 that clipped him getting by. Kind of sideswiped him with that right side door. Nowhere to go to try to miss the incident. I don't think there's any major damage on the 11, but the 18's nose is caved in just a bit more. Had a hole in the nose after getting into the back of Catherine Legg all the way at lap 51 in stage 1. And even more damage to boot now for Sawalich. Rough season for Joe Gibbs Racing. First full-time season in the Xfinity Series for Sawalich. He actually comes into this race 23rd in points, with only 2 top 10 finishes through the first 9 races. 3 DNFs, and I don't think he's going to be getting his 3rd top 10 of the year here today, the way things are going. Not a lot of stage points either, because you look at the likes of Jeb Burton, who's the first driver outside the playoff cut line, who actually has 1 less top 10 than Sawalich this year, but he's 13th in points to Williams' 23rd. He's in danger of missing the playoffs in Joe Gibbs Racing equipment. It's a down year for JGR in the Xfinity Series. Taylor Gray is 16th in points also. Both those drivers are rookies in the Xfinity Series, but both are not having great seasons. You think back to that Martinsville race for Taylor Gray, if he had gotten that win, if not caught up, that last lap incident with Sammy Smith turning him final corner, final lap while leading, that win could go a long way for Gray and getting him a playoff spot. Instead, he's 4 spots out. And I know it's still early in the season. I'm talking about playoffs, but if you really think about it, we're going to be halfway through the regular season already for the NASCAR Xfinity Series in just 3 more races. So, season, although it's still early, relatively speaking, it's moving along quick at the same time. In case of the Cup Series, they're not going to have another off week the rest of the year either, so they're going to be definitely on the grind from here all the way through the end of the season. We'll have a 9-points race with the All-Star race being held at North Wilkesboro for the 3rd consecutive year on All-Star weekend here in a couple weeks, but on-track activity for the Cup Series for the next 28 weeks. We've had one off week a season a couple times in the last few years since the COVID season of 2020, but they've been kind of middle of the year during the summer, not this early in April. It's going to be hard to keep that momentum up all the way through the summer, even for drivers that get hot at that point. It's one thing to get hot. It's another thing to get hot, stay hot. Traveling on the grind week after week. Could be hard to stay motivated at times. Maybe not for the drivers, but the team specifically. I like that they have the old scoreboard at Rockingham. It's like it's towards the exit of turn 2. It's not lit up, though. It's definitely not being used. Exit of turn 4, middle 3 and 4 is where that takes place. But yeah, it's not being used. Unfortunately. It didn't look like it was on.
On time. Let me know. Let's take a look at this. So Thomas Nunziata there, that black and green car, just sort of sent it on the bottom a bit, and it 3 wide, and it put Sawalich in such a tough position, not wanting to get up into the dust that we've seen be so tough. Brennan Poole kind of sandwiched in that middle
Brennan
there.
had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he was just stuck. But it was a very aggressive move by Thomas there to the bottom.
It works if you're just 2 wide, but he knew they were 3 wide. He made it 3 wide, getting into the corner. This is a great, the other view of him getting to the inside of Brennan Poole. He washes Brennan up, and Brennan's just kind of along for the ride. And same thing for Sawalich. I mean, once he got hit, you just have no control of that.
And you can see on that onboard where it's not forced into all the dust that's on the outside. He's trying to stay within the rubber there. That just makes it so tight when you're 3 wide.
It happened
It was
late,
very
too,
late,
right?
yeah. So yeah, and you can't just adjust your line. When that happened, you committed to what your line is, and we've seen how many people have had trouble down turn 3. At that point, you have to sort of let the car take the set that it's going to set.
You see his numbers here? Ooh, it's been 24th or worse this year in race. And they had that period early with that back-to-back top 10s, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Since that time, just unable to find their way to the front. When they do, something goes wrong.
Next week. It's a great track that you can win at. It's also a place you can get wrecked at and have another terrible finish. So, tough start for William.
Confirming Kane did get the free pass. He's back on the lead lap. 32 cars on the lead lap. Front row here, Jesse Love outside of Brandon Jones for the restart.
Yeah, he did the best job of anybody, though, at the launch. And I think if he's the control car, we'll see right here, it still looks like that inside row is able to launch a little bit better. But Jesse's been so aggressive on the restarts. You see getting down into, he gives the 20. Look at the speed he has middle. Yeah, that 2 car all day long through the middle of the corner has been the best.
I feel like most of the runs today, he started behind the 8 ball and had to drive it to the front. Now he's got control of the race. Talking about the 2 like Jesse Long.
Yeah, the other trend that I see, Parker, on these restarts is, especially in the first 10 positions, everybody's fighting. Nobody wants to be on the outside. It's the track, as you mentioned, maybe really tight up there, and they don't want to get put 3 wide like we just saw with Sawalich.
On board Jeb Burton. 19th after doing a solid job to end that second stage. Hey, what? When you give up the track position to get stage points and you're still where he is.
Really big day. They can couple more spots here, boys. You're back here in the pack now, stage 3. Everyone's had a chance to work on their cars, get them better. This is going to be harder than ever to try to drive to the field as Anthony Alfredo gets right to the bumper of Jed Burton. But this is going to be a tall task to march to the field. You know, when Zilich and Quappel did it early on, ours the chance to have any pit stops to work on them, but now everyone's car is driving the best it has all race, and you've got to make up those positions. Oh, as he gets into his teammate there, Blaine Perkins, that was tight. And just
well, Blaine pitched him off just a little bit, getting into the corner. You got to give just a little bit of room there, but
I see. 7th caution of the day. Greg Van Alst has a problem. He was 34th. He was 2 laps down. So was Connor Zilich. And I think right now by our scoring monitor, this should allow Connor to pass 1 lap down.
And because he'll be the only car 1 lap down, basically in the next caution, he will get the lucky dog. It looks like, gosh, it looks like almost oil was on the track, like with cars. I don't know, tying up out of the groove.
We've seen Chris Wright do that a couple times today, so he's found the outside wall there in turns 1 and 2 multiple times. Greg, I don't know if he was reacting to it or whatever, if there's something on the track.
Love leading at Rockingham.
All right. Well, Jesse Love continues his lead. The fastest car so far today. He's been the one putting the most pressure on the leader, whoever that would be in front of him. Carson Quappel for a bit of time. Early in the race when it was Nick Sanchez and he was outright able to pass him for the lead. I think Jesse Love is going to be the guy to beat if he can hold on to the track position. Obviously, everybody's still got to pit one more time, so there's that. Has to keep nailing the restarts, which so far so good. It's been great on the restarts all day today. 23 laps led currently for Jesse Love. Carson Quappel has led for 47. 6 for Brandon Jones. And I believe Sanchez still has the most laps led. 52 laps led for him in a Stage 1 victory. Dean Thompson, 11 laps led. He won Stage 2. And those are the only 5 drivers to lead at least 1 lap in the race today. Xfinity fastest lap of the race is for Jesse Love at lap 136 with a 23.293. So lap times just continue to get quicker and quicker as the race wears on. Track gets more and more rubbered in with this fresher asphalt. And obviously whoever seems to have the clean air in the top 2 or 3 on the restarts almost sets a fastest lap of the race. Nearly every restart we've had throughout the course of the race today. Just over an hour and a half in, 7 cautions. This is our second for incident already in Stage 3. Had a couple early incidences in Stage 3 of the truck race yesterday. 5 cautions total. 3 for incident. We've already had, see here, 5 yellows for incident today in 140 laps. We had 200 laps total in the truck race yesterday. Obviously, this race 50 laps longer, so we still have a little over 100 to go. A lot of racing left here at Rockingham Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. You're listening live on KRC to our full flag-to-flag coverage. 80 likes on the stream. We're 20 away from 100, ladies and gents. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Full field running order with 110 laps to go as Jesse Love out in front of the field. Brandon Jones in second. Carson Quappel third. Taylor Gray fourth. And Sammy Smith in fifth. 6th place is Sam Mayer. Austin Hill 7th. Parker Retzlaff 8th. Justin Allgaier 9th. Christian Eckes in 10th. Justin Bonsignore in 11th. Harrison Burton 12th. Nick Sanchez 13th. Brennan Poole 14th. And Daniel Dye 15th. 16th, Ryan Ellis. Thomas Annunziata 17th. Jeb Burton 18th. Blaine Perkins 19th. And Anthony Alfredo in 20th. Josh Bilicki 21st. Kyle Sieg 22nd. Ryan Sieg 23rd. Make that now Patrick Emmerle 23rd. Then Ryan Sieg 24th. Jeremy Clements 25th. Casey Kane, 26, working his way back through the field as he's back on the lead lap. Our Stage 2 winner, Dean Thompson, is 27th. Matt DiBenedetto, 28th. Austin Green, 29th. Garrett Smithley, 30th. Chris Wright, 31st. 32nd, Josh Williams. Connor Zilich now 1 lap down. He was 2 down, just got the free pass during this last caution. Greg Van Alst, following his spin moments ago, is 34th, 3 laps down. 35th, Vazante Salas, who spun back on lap 13, is 4 laps down. Williams Sawalich with damage on track, 6 laps down. 2 cars out of the race, Sheldon Creed, Catherine Legg, 37th and 38th. That rounds out our field. Should have about 108 laps to go on the restart when we get there. Many people watching right now. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Again, we are very, very, very close to 6,000 subs on the channel. Refreshing the page here. We are now 34 subscribers away from 6,000. See if we can get to that nice whole round number. 50% of viewers on the channel in the last 28 days are not subscribed. So greatly appreciate you tuning in every NASCAR race weekend to these live commentary streams. Appreciate the feedback on the commentary side of things. Continuing to grow my craft, get better week after week. Feel like I've only gotten better as the season has gone on. Doing this on repetition definitely helps. Now we're at 33. There we go. Somebody just subbed. Thank you for that, whoever that was. We are 33 away. I'd like to get there before I go to Talladega, because if I don't get there before I go to Talladega, it might be a couple weeks before I get it back. Well, I mean, I will be doing live commentary for Texas the following week, just not the Cup race. So again, the next Cup race we're going to have, I think, is Kansas on Mother's Day weekend. Would be the next Sunday live commentary stream. So it's going to be a while with this off week this week, and I'll be at Dega and Texas Motor Speedway. But we will have coverage through the weekend leading up to Sunday still on the channel, and race highlights from the grandstands again for those races. I know I keep repeating myself throughout the course of the stream, but I got to get it out there in case there's anybody that have just tuned in throughout the course of the race that are regulars of the channel. And obviously, I'll keep you updated in the community tab when we get closer to next weekend and obviously the weekend after. Tight race for the Xfinity Dash for cash right now. Brandon Jones leads it in second. Carson Kvapil in fourth. Fifth for Sammy Smith. Justin Allgaier ninth. All in the top 10 for the first time today. 3 in the top 5 still. Green flag back in the air. Jesse Love outside of row 1 for the restart. Seen the control car on the bottom most of the time in the restarts, but Love on the outside will take control and clear in the middle of 1 and 2. Brandon Jones not quite clear for second. Kvapil stays to his outside. They'll battle into 3 and 4. Taylor Gray in hot pursuit just behind them. And Kvapil on the outside, trying to pull clear of the 20. These two had a great side-by-side battle in traffic for a couple laps consecutively towards the end of Stage 1. And now here at the beginning of Stage 3, they're battling again, and Kvapil will win that battle for second. He's finally clear up off of Turn 2. Brandon Jones will have to slide up in line just behind him. Jesse Love just set his fastest lap of the race again at lap 145 just 2 laps ago, 23.292. Again, track just getting quicker and quicker and quicker throughout the course of the day. Track temps are slightly falling as well as we get closer to the nighttime skies. Kind of the peak evening hours is allowing for that to happen. Turns 1 and 2 should be mostly shaded by the end of the race because of the grandstand seating. 3 and 4 should still be buried under the sun for most of the night. Obviously, we're not going to be racing into the nighttime, so we won't have complete darkness, but track will be going through slight changes still with just over 100 laps to go. Jay Pendarvis, welcome to the stream. Work for Black's Tire. Here all day. Weather is perfect. Yeah, awesome. Obviously, that was the title sponsor for the truck race last night. Andrew, welcome to the stream. Better cadence and flow than CeeLo. Well, I mean, I appreciate the feedback. CeeLo, a supporter of the channel. He's been in the chat several times in the past. He doesn't really do, like, commentary. I guess, I mean, he does. I will say he is more interactive with the chat. I try to be with doing the full flag-to-flag coverage like this and doing my own commentary. I try not to, you know, miss things as they happen. So I try to catch up with the chat as much as I possibly can during cautions and commercial breaks, but that's really about the only time I'm able to do it. And speaking of which, we are under caution right now, which is why I was able to look at the chat there a couple seconds ago. Our 8th caution, our 3rd caution already of Stage 3. The 07 of Patrick Emmerle was nosed against the inside retaining wall off the exit of Turn 2, it looked like. Heavy damage to his race car. There's also the 4 of Parker Retzlaff, who was slow after getting against the outside wall, had a flat right side tire. Couldn't tell if it was right rear or right front when he had circled back around towards the front stretch. But Emmerle's car, very damaged. Not sure if those two correlated with one another, if they got into each other or not. Taking a look at the replay, Retzlaff goes wide. He gets against the wall off Turn 2. That's going to back traffic up behind them. Emmerling probably got tagged from behind in the checkup of that. Can't tell who exactly was behind him, but that had turned Emmerling off of turn 2. Noses the inside wall again down the back straightaway. So under caution for the third time of stage 3. We have not had much green flag racing in this final stage yet. Still outside the fuel window to make it to the end with where we're at right now. But we're getting closer to the edge where if teams feel that maybe they could pit now, we still get caution after caution after caution, they're able to save more gas. Maybe somebody can stretch it to the finish. We had a fuel mileage race in the truck race yesterday. But the way the cautions are playing out early in stage 3, we maybe could see that again here today. Gregory Bradley, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I saw CeeLo was off this weekend. I try to keep up with his channel when I can. Obviously, we're streaming at the same time, so yeah, I'm not in his live chats usually by any means, but I try to keep up, see what he's doing. Yeah, he does cover a lot more sports. This is a NASCAR-oriented channel. Yeah, he covers a lot of sports. Got cars on pit road. Christian Eckes is in.
Yeah, here. Get it full of fuel right now. If a caution comes out again at 10 or 12 laps, they're going to have a short field. They could jump a lot of cars.
The other drivers came down. Daniel Dye.
Okay.
That's his teammate among the Jesse.
So Colleague Racing coming into the pits, it sounds like there. Couple of them at least. I would assume Josh Williams probably came into the pits also. Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, welcome to the stream. Casey Kane is still in the race. He was 26th the last I saw when I went through the full leaderboard. Not sure if he was one of the cars that hit pit road or not there. He's currently scored in 19th. Slowly working through the field. He was a lap down at the end of stage 2. He got the free pass during the stage 2 yellow. And he's picked up a couple spots every restart we've had here in stage 3 to get himself inside the top 20 again. So don't count Casey Kane out of it. Again, if it becomes a fuel mileage race, I could leave it up to anybody to win. Tyler Ankrum was able to get his first win in 130 truck starts last night on fuel mileage. May we see an upset 2 days in a row. No diss on CeeLo's channel in the chat. I don't want there to be a rivalry between the two of us. If it is, it would be very much friendly. It's kind of funny, though, because there'll be sometimes there'll be people tuning into the channel for the first time, and they'll say I talk too much, and I find that to be the funniest retort of an insulting comment to the channel because it literally doesn't make any sense. It's live commentary. It's my live commentary of the stream. You got to read the title. If you're expecting the guy in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen not to talk about the race as it's happening much, I don't know what you came here for. I can't show the race for visual purposes. In an ideal world, if I could have the race on screen instead of the leaderboard, I would have that, and then I would have me in the corner, and I would be doing commentary that way. But for copyright reasons, the stream will get taken down within seconds. YouTube's really quick with that. It would get taken down, maybe minutes. I might get away with the first couple laps, and then it would get taken down, but it wouldn't be worth it. Then I'd get the copyright strike, and that wouldn't be great. That would not be good. Be channel jeopardizing, to say the least. Appreciate that, Delbert. Supposed to talk. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. I've seen that before. It actually makes me laugh when I see that comment because it literally doesn't make any sense. I've the other comment that's supposed to be a mean comment in quotations, but I find hilarious is the comments about me using an announcer voice. They're like, use your regular voice. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. This is my regular voice. If I sound like an announcer, awesome. You know, that's what I'm going for. but it is my normal voice, so ugly hats. His hats are ugly. Nah. They're probably just retro, old school. He's an old Denny Hamlin fan. He's got some old FedEx hats. I got a Detroit Red Wings hat on. I'm a big fan of camouflage hats. I got to get myself a Memorial Day Tigers hat when they play that game this year, because I will be going to that game, so I will be getting that hat when I'm in attendance. Needless to say, green flag is back in the air. We'll get back to NASCAR now. Jesse Love and Carson Kvapil on the front row for that last restart. Jesse Love won the quick battle, although Kvapil was on the inside of him for almost the entirety of the opening lap. Settles himself just behind. Now side by side for third further back between the Toyotas at JGR of Taylor Gray and Brandon Jones. Gray on the bottom of the track, Jones on the outside. Sammy Smith in the 8, who's been hovering back half of the top 10 for most of the day. He now breaks into the top 5 for the first time. He's got a big run on these two JGR cars in front of him. Down the front stretch, going to push the 20 out in front of the 54, and now trying to take after the 54 himself here through 1 and 2. Justin Allgaier, who we haven't talked about much today, fell behind on strategy at the end of stage 1, had a bad restart, got shuffled out of line. Has come from as far back as 30th at one point. And it's been a slow climb, but he is now up inside the top 10 as he battles Sam Mayer side by side. Smith so close to clearing on Taylor Gray before getting down into turn 1. Should be able to clear if he has a good exit to turn 2, and does. Gray settles just behind him. Oh, a little contact off turn 2 in that side-by-side battle between Mayer and Allgaier. Allgaier hugging the white line all the way through the corner. Through 3 and 4, stays glued to it. No contact off the exit of turn 2 this time. I'm not sure how those two cars came together. It looked like Mayer may have came down. Allgaier was coming up. Racing deal. No major issue. No tire rubs on either car either. Austin Hill now to the inside of 54. Another crash off turn 2. This time it's the 19 of Justin Bonsignor. And even more damage to the front of his car than what we saw with the last head-on hit into the inside wall off turn 2. Our 9th caution of the day, and already our 4th caution for incident in stage 3. His final stage restarted with around 120 to go. The first restart. In less than 35 laps, we have seen 4 yellows now. Get a few laps of green flag racing, we catch a caution. A few more laps, catch a caution. This caution is going to be big for those that just pitted, because they're going to be able to save more fuel, and maybe could be in the ballpark of trying to stay out when everybody else in front of them decides to pit. Paulie Cars, Christian Eckes, Josh Williams, and Daniel Dye were in. Big hit for the 19. And just another spin off turn 2, a little contact from behind. Sometimes we've seen it without contact this weekend. Sometimes we've seen it with, and that was with a slight bit from behind. Gregory Bradley, I think I shouted you out already. T-Van, welcome to the stream. Eli Gold still living, miss him, and Barney on the calls. I'm not sure. I hope they are. I am not sure. I mean, I haven't heard anything negative as far as hearing them pass in recent years, so I guess they would still be alive. But I don't know that for a fact. I would hope so. My recollection of listening to NASCAR radio specifically, for those of you that don't know, I'll get into the story actually in a little bit. We got pit road opening this time. Let's not miss the reports on pit road. All the leaders are coming in, probably the final stop of the day.
It makes it so much easier when they all come for you too. Yeah. Everybody feels good about it. Kim?
Yeah, and crew chief for Brandon Jones says we're close enough if it keeps this cadence to make it on fuel. So they're banking on a couple of more cautions. You see that chassis adjustment. Brandon said they balance here, so just a little tight. They're looking to free him up with that adjustment. 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Sunoco fuel at 4.3.
Yeah, both those cars at the front of the field as well. I think banking on some yellow. Jesse Love just said that we were snug on fire off. I think they might just change right here in the deep.
Oh, man.
Another jam up with the 70. Carson Kvapil said he was tight rolling there, but he'll beat the 2 off the road.
How about that? The dance for Jesse Love through traffic. He loses 2 positions. Quapple wins the race off pit road, +3 for Taylor Gray. 6 drivers did stay out. Our 9th caution produced when Jeb gets Justin Bonsignor, and the 19 goes for a ride.
It looked like he had it saved at first and then overcorrected.
Start return.
He got loose, and it looked like he had it straightened up and then fought loose again. A little bit closer to the exit of the corner, but well after the contact initially. So a few cars stayed out of the pits because they have hit pit road in recent laps with the last couple of cautions that we had seen prior. Carson Quapple, who won the race off pit road, will be 6th. So the top 5 stayed out. Those 5 drivers that stayed out of the pits would be Ryan Sieg, Austin Green, Christian Eckes, Parker Retzlaff, and Daniel Dye. Barney Hall passed away in 2016. Oh, wow, that was a while ago. Is this the best race ever? I wouldn't say so. It was a good race through the first 2 stages. A lot of yellows, though, here in Stage 3. It's feeling like Martinsville all over again. Hopefully we get some green flag racing in here. Still 90 laps left. Plenty of time. It's also plenty of time for more cautions if you look at it negatively, but I'm not going to do that because I'm more of a half glass full kind of guy. Or at least I try to be. We have seen some good racing today, though. I'd say this has definitely been the best race of the weekend at Rockingham between the truck and Xfinity. I was at work earlier, so I couldn't catch ARCA. But yeah, this race I thought has been pretty good for the most part. Stage 3, but CeeLo will know I'm joking. Okay. That's good. I'm a little scared. I feel like it's a bad look for me if people are bashing him in the chat. That's why I didn't want that. Because I don't mean any harm personally. Giving him hell for being a Hamlin fan. Hey man, you like who you like. I think Denny gets more hate than he should. Definitely should get more respect as a race car driver than he gets. The guy's about to break into the top 10 all time on the NASCAR wins list in the Cup Series. And it's amazing how quick he's been able to rise to that occasion here just within the last, really 2019 onward. 3-time Daytona 500 winner, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not unanimous by any means, but definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. When you consider who's already in and who he would be going against when he first is on the ballot for the first time, yeah, no doubt he's definitely going in. Who's in the 53? Catherine Legg earlier. It's the first time Ryan Sieg has been out in front of the field today. He had an unscheduled pit stop, was actually lapped down early in Stage 2. He stayed out to get stage points at Stage 1 and finished 3rd in the opening stage, so he does have 8 stage points, and now he's got the lead here in the final 90 laps.
With 100 to go, we thought maybe
Crew chief of Christian Eckes here.
Stop, but you didn't come. Is there any way that you guys stretch it until the very end?
Oh, that's the plan. Like we just talked, we kind of made our bed, so we're just going to lay in it at this point. You know, we figured caution laps we needed the end, and the way the race is kind of played out here, hopefully that plays in our favor.
All right, we'll see what kind of luck they have on their side here this afternoon.
Yeah, I want you guys to keep your eye.
Not only trying to make it to the end on fuel, but he's going to have some very fast drivers behind him. Quapple only a row back, still a couple cars in front of him to pass as well. Green flag is back in the air. Ryan Sieg gets a great launch. Austin Green on the outside of row 1 stacks up the outside. A little contact between Daniel Dye and Carson Quapple. Quapple got squeezed up against the fence just a little bit. A little damage on that left front fender as well. Still ends up getting by on the outside lane of one of the cars he was 3 wide with. Still stuck behind Austin Green, though. Taylor Gray in the 54 was actually able to get by Quapple, so he's first of those that just pitted. Parker Retzlaff in the 4 car out in front. Christian Eckes was able to get by him. Another bad restart for Retzlaff. Gray up to 4th as he passes Austin Green off turn 2. Side-by-side battle for 6 between Quapple and Love. Quapple was able to get back down to the inside on the back straightaway to try to make this pass attempt on Jesse. I think these are the 2 fastest cars in the field today, Jesse Love and Carson Quapple. I would favor Love slightly. Not a lot of damage on that left front fender of Carson Quapple. He's currently trying to use Austin Green as a pick, the slower car, to get by the faster car of Love. Love got a quick bump draft down the back straightaway from Sammy Smith, and that's actually going to help Jesse try to get in front of his teammate Carson. Love is clear on the front stretch, blocks the 1, and now the 8 and the 1 are side-by-side for positions into 1 and 2. Opportunity for Jesse to now clear the 87 of Austin Green. Can't quite clear off turn 2. We'll try it again through 3 and 4, but he should make the pass on this end of the speedway. Backs up the corner entry. Beats the 87 back to the throttle. Nope, still can't clear. Sammy Smith is clear of Carson Quapple for position, though. And now he, too, is able to hop into the bottom to try to make the pass on Austin Green. Jesse Love finally clears Green off turn 2. It took him a lap and a half extra than I thought. It was going to take him to clear for that spot, but he does get by eventually. He's already over 3 seconds off the lead, though. So time has been lost. It's a 1 second gap, 1.3 seconds specifically, for Ryan Sieg, our race leader, back to second place, Christian Eckes. And then you got Parker Retzlaff in 3rd, Taylor Gray 4th, Jesse Love 5th, Sammy Smith in 6th, Austin Green still in 7th, Carson Quapple 8th, 9th for Harrison Burton. Sam Mayer rounds out the top 10. And that battle also between Sammy Smith and Carson Quapple, the 2 JRM teammates, is a battle for the Dash for Cash position. They're the highest running of the Dash for Cash competitors. Harrison Burton trying to sneak to the inside of Carson Quapple to steal a spot. Might have clipped him in the left rear. Both drivers go up the track through 1 and 2 and lose a couple of positions down the back straightaway. Connor Zilich and Sam Mayer able to get by. Mayer not quite clear of the 1, but Zilich was. What a comeback, by the way, for Connor Zilich in that 88. He had a flat tire earlier. He just passed the 87 of Austin Green to get to 7th place now. Don't count Connor Zilich out of it. He hasn't led a lap today. He qualified on the pole, but had a flat tire before the start of the race. Had to pit. Started at the rear because of it. It's been a long time coming. He did get to the end of stage 2 into the top 10, but because of the way the pit strategy was with the late caution in the stage, he wasn't able to capitalize and get any stage points on the day despite qualifying on the pole. But he, too, could have one of the faster cars in the field that we just haven't seen be able to utilize that speed because he hasn't had the clean air out in front of the field like the 1 or the 2 have. Eckes still cannot run down Ryan Sieg right now. Sieg is putting the best lap times down of anybody on the track currently. His fastest lap was at lap 167, 23.39. Jesse Love in 5th actually has the fastest lap of the race on lap 156 still, of a 23.267. That was the second to last restart, I believe, when he was still out in front before the last pit stop, so when that fuel window opened. Now, we don't know on fuel if Sieg, Eckes, Retzlaff in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are going to be good to the end. It's a very similar strategy to that of what Corey Heim and Gio Ruggiero had in the Truck Series race for those that watched yesterday. They pitted early, hoping they would catch some cautions, leading into the final stint to the end of the race. By pitting earlier, getting the track position, getting the clean air, running the fastest laps of the race late, but they were not able to stretch the fuel window all the way to the finish because they didn't catch enough yellows. Did the 39, 16, and the 4 pit too early like the Tricon Garage Toyotas did yesterday, or will they be able to make it to the end if this race stays green? 74 laps, you would think with the amount of yellows we've had so far that it won't. But yesterday's truck race went green long to the end after having a couple of early cautions in stage 3, so the same thing could happen here. We'll have to wait and see. Brett Whitesides, welcome to the stream. 73 laps to go right now. Now 1.8 second lead for Sieg. Rest of the running order behind. Got Christian Eckes in second. Parker Retzlaff third. Taylor Gray in fourth. Showing Casey Kane on screen. Coming back from a lap down earlier. Lost some time on pit road. He's currently 23rd. He was as high as 19th since he's had the damage to the right front. All the cautions we've seen today, there are not many cars on the lead lap. Or, sorry, a lap down. There's still 31 on the lead lap. Only 2 drivers are out of the race. Actually, more than that. A couple drivers off. Justin Bonsignore is out. Sheldon Creed and Catherine Legg are out. Greg Van All still on the track, but 21 laps down. Parker Retzlaff has caught Christian Eckes for second. Nearly 3 wide through 3 and 4. Brendan Poole in the middle. Austin Hill in the bottom. Dean Thompson, our Stage 2 winner, on the outside. Casey Kane on the bottom of the track. Dive bombing underneath the 27 of Jeb Burton. Going to slide up. Not quite clear. Oh, trouble in front of him. Kyle Sieg's around back. Straight away. A couple other cars collected behind. 71 must have ran into the back of somebody through that haziness. Down the back straightaway, there was a ton of smoke, nowhere to go, couldn't see where you were going, and he definitely piled into the back of somebody. Because he's got a ton of damage on the front of his car before he had nosed the inside wall. So now we'll have to wait and see who has the damage on the back of their cars after Ryan Ellis made that hit. And this is our 10th caution of the day, and our 5th of Stage 3 with still 69 laps to go. Nathan Urich, welcome to the stream. That was a big hit for the 71. He definitely hit somebody from behind. Spin came from Kyle Sieg. Side by side off the exit of turn 2. No contact. A lot of smoke. Couldn't see where anybody was going. Somebody had scraped the wall off turn 2 behind the sliding 28. And I think that was the car the 71 had hit from behind. No, that wasn't it either. There was a car in between those two that was the one that got hit. But there hasn't been a good indication on the replay as to who that was that Ryan Ellis ran into. Tire blowout on the 28, but that lied. May never know who that was. Showing a replay as they're cutting a commercial again. All the smoke, I just can't tell exactly who it might have been. I can't tell who that is that was against the wall. So 3-car incident. Creed won't finish second, no. He'll finish second to last. If that counts as a second. If he's not finishing second to first, he's finishing second to last. Poor Sheldon Creed. He'll get a win eventually, right? I sure hope so. He deserves it. Former Truck Series champion Sheldon Creed. Well, Ryan Sieg is doing a great job out in front of the field. The benefit to him pulling the strategy is the fact there were several others behind him on the same strategy that puts faster cars like Jesse Love back in 5th, who has the speed to win the race, but not the track position right now on a track that is very high grip, mostly one groove with the fresh asphalt, no tire fall off. So we'll see if Ryan Sieg can hold on. Caution is going to help him save fuel because he is lighter on fuel to the end of the race than everybody who would have pitted during the last caution before this. And this was actually the longest green flag run of Stage 3. Spawning about 15 to 16 laps. 12 lead changes now, just over 2 hours into the race. Once again, you're listening live to the North Carolina Education Lottery 250 at Rockingham, right here on KRC. We are up to 100 likes on the stream. our original goal of 50. So greatly appreciate you guys hitting that like button, doubling up on that through the course of the stream today. See if we can get that even higher. 125 maybe? Maybe. We still got 65 to go. It could happen. Subscriber counts 27 away from 6,000, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting closer. We started the day 41 out. We are at 27 away now. At the start of the stream, just over 2 hours ago, 4 p.m. Eastern, we were 41 away. And we are now 27 away on our account to get to 6,000 subscribers. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, live NASCAR commentary for every NASCAR Truck Xfinity Cup race just like this, all the way through the rest of the season. Excluding races I will be at in person, like Talladega next week, but we will be live Saturday for Cup qualifying in the morning, ARCA in the afternoon. We'll also be live for the Xfinity race Saturday afternoon triple header. And then I'll be leaving after the Xfinity race, and I'll be down there in plenty of time for the afternoon Sunday Cup Series race. And then again, race highlights from the grandstands will be uploaded later that evening. Same thing at Texas, basically with the same schedule the following week. Jeb Burton's in, a couple other cars back in the lead lap are also in.
Driving the 9 car.
Clay, historian.
Yeah. Hey, Austin Green
And strategist.
comes down and pits here, but we knew they were going to have to make another pit stop because they were way behind when you talk about the But hey, I say this: there's no doubt they can go the distance, and he's going to be in a situation where he's got some fresher tires. I realize that's not been a big deal today, but over the course of the long haul, maybe it makes a difference. Unfortunate thing, just so many drivers on the lead lap.
We were blessed with the weather today.
Ah,
I mean, that scene is just incredible. The crowd, the weather, everything. It's a little warm today.
Low to mid
Perfect day
80s
for
all
racing.
weekend. Make for a hot, slick racetrack.
about the 39 race leader, Dylan.
Climbed up on the box and spoke to the crew chief, and he said, I'd like another yellow. I'd love 2 yellows. And the computer says we're good, but I'm not so sure that we are. So either way, it's going to be really close for the 39. But they did come on the radio, too, just a minute ago and said, we've made our bets, and now we just got to run this out and hope that it falls our way. So going for his first career win, if they could do it on fuel mileage, it'd be pretty exciting.
For his first career win. He had a long winless streak come to a close last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race here. Tyler Ankrum. And he pitted with right around 90 laps to go. Not trying to compare it because we know everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for WrestleMania. The Rock is back again. Yes, he is. He'll definitely be there tomorrow. Maybe he'll be there tonight. I mean, there's some rumors. I'm excited to see what tonight brings. I'm unfortunately going to miss the start of WrestleMania. I'm going to somebody's house to watch it. We usually get together and watch all the WWE pay-per-views, PLEs. So I'll be headed there as soon as this race is done. And I kind of had a feeling that I was going to miss the start of WrestleMania because it starts at 7. And it's going to take me about 40 minutes to get to his place. So I'm going to be missing that World Heavyweight title match, which is supposed to start the night. So that kind of sucks. But I should be able to catch everything after the fact. Assuming this race doesn't go too much longer than it's already going, it's been a long Xfinity race today, and that is because we have seen 10 cautions, and a lot of which here in stage number 3. We only had 3 cautions for incident in the first 120 laps, stage 1, stage 2, and we've already seen 6 of them. Check that, 5 cautions for incident in stage 3 alone, and we're only halfway through the final stage. A lot of time still to go. I haven't really caught any NXT pay-per-views in a while. I haven't caught NXT pay-per-views since the black and gold NXT era. That was before AEW because I know Adam Cole was still there. Josh Hyland, welcome to the stream. Appreciate the feedback. Obviously, Earl Arnold Jr., welcome in. Thanks for subscribing, by the way, Jay. Ricky Benton, Black's Tire Service. All right, we'll see if Sieg can try to extend his lead just as he did the last restart, which spawned just over 15 green flag laps. We'll have 62 to go this time by. Green flag back in the air.
Remaining at Rockingham.
Yeah, Christian's going to have to protect that run a little high as they get down into 1 and 2. You see Jesse Love already kind of setting that up. What kind of momentum can he get through the middle of the corner? Good decision. Going to be 3 right there.
Eckes got against the wall.
The crossover. Love goes inside Eckes, 2-car up to second.
Yeah, it's been really fun, impressive to watch what Jesse Love has been able to do on the restarts. What a kind of an over-under right there. Didn't force the issue. And I think we even saw that earlier with the 2-car, not forcing it with Carson Quapple Parker.
Eckes got a little bit checked up, which will happen. You're on the outside there on the restart. Sometimes if you haven't prepped your top, you can tight right on the exit. That's what happened to Eckes. He checked up. That gave Jesse a massive run down the trench.
How about Retzloff holding tight on the bottom right there? You see he's running the 3rd position. Sammy Smith is going to side as we take another look at, Eckes got into the wall right there. I didn't see that. A lot of Jesse Love to get that momentum down to the inside. What a battle, though, these guys. They know how important these are.
This is when you take advantage, right? You go establish that track position, and you want to take advantage when you get that green flag on a restart. Jesse Love has been outstanding with that ball.
But it's like trapped on the bottom right now. As you see all these guys.
Sammy Smith's got his hands full.
The bottom, and I feel like the track has kind of changed as the day's gone on. Like there's been times that you're like, well, the bottom's the favorite, and right now it just seems like that outside group has found a little bit of momentum, or the 4-car's struggling a little more on the bottom.
And we started a really warm day, but this kid who's out in the elements told us in the break earlier, it's getting a little cooler out there. The track grip is going up. That lends it to the bottom being a little bit times, but definitely grip level up. Everyone's had the chance to work on the race cars. It's the best they've been driving all day.
That 7-car, you saw him able to get to the inside of Taylor Gray right there. That reminds me of what we've seen Jesse Love, the 2-car, been able to do all day long. Kind of pick the gas up just a little bit through the middle. Hope it doesn't get too loose on the exit. We kind of documented Justin's day all day long. It's been a battle, right?
All right, so 57 laps to go, handful of laps into this restart. Ryan Sieg has a half a second advantage over Jesse Love, 2.1 seconds over 3rd place Christian Eckes, and 2.9 seconds back to 4th place Sammy Smith. Parker Retzlaff rounds out the top 5 and 5th, and then at 6 you have Sam Mayer, Connor Zillage 7th, Justin Allgaier 8th, Taylor Gray 9th, Carson Quapple rounds out the top 10. And 11th is Harrison Burton, Brandon Jones 12th, Anthony Alfredo 13th, 14th for Nick Sanchez, and 15th is Josh Williams. Daniel Dye 16th, Austin Hill 17th, Dean Thompson 18th, Casey Kane 19th, and 20th is Brennan Poole. Matt DiBenedetto 21st, Blaine Perkins 22nd, Thomas Annunziata 23rd, Jeremy Clements 24th, and Jeb Burton 25th. Austin Green in 26th, Chris Wright 27th, Josh Bilicki 28th, Patrick Emmerling is the last car in the lead lap at 29th, and Kyle Sieg is the first car lap down in 30th. Garrett Smithley 2 laps down in 31st, Vazante Salas 32nd, 4 laps down, 7 laps down, William Sawalich in 33rd with damage, and Ryan Ellis, in 34th, 17 laps down. He is out of the race following the last incident. Greg Van Alst is on track with 26 laps down in 35th. And then Justin Bonsior out of the race 36th. Same for 37, Sheldon Creed. And 38th, Catherine Legg. Showing a replay of contact that happened between Taylor Gray and Carson Quapple moments ago, battling for position off of this most recent restart. Jesse Love has gotten to within a half a second of Ryan Sieg for the lead. But now he's 0.7 of a second back after having a slight hiccup on the last lap. Losing a couple tenths. Love's fastest lap of the race was back on lap 156. We're currently at lap 200 of 250. 2 hours, 16 minutes, 21 seconds and counting. Total time on the race with about 50 laps to go. 10 cautions, 5 for incident in stage 3, 8 for incident total, 14 lead changes, 62 laps under yellow. 9/10 of a second lead now for Ryan Sieg over Jesse Love. Our current leader Sieg has led for 39 laps, all of which in stage 3. Jesse Love has led for 44 laps today. 1 for Christian Eckes on that last restart. Carson Quapple has led the second most laps with 47. 6 laps led for Brandon Jones. 52 laps led for Nick Sanchez, who also won stage 1 and started in the 3rd place position, but was able to lead the first 44 laps to start the race. Dean Thompson on pit strategy was able to win stage 2 as well, as he has led for 11 laps. And those are all the drivers who have led at least once in the race. Again, 14 lead changes so far. No Ford has gone to victory lane in the NASCAR Xfinity Series so far this year. Can Ryan Sieg be the first Blue Oval to break through and get a win? They're already limited with how many they have in the Xfinity Series level, 2 at Haas. Ryan Sieg's 4, that's really about it, but none of them have gone to victory lane yet. All 3 of which are in the top 10 in the point standings entering this race today. Coming into this one, Ryan Sieg was 9th in points. A win would lock him into the playoffs. That'd be huge for him. He missed it a season ago. It was very close, and he was also very close to a win at Texas early in the year. Can he finally break through and get that win here today? Sheldon Creed, as I mentioned, the other Ford is in 8th, and Sam Mayer is actually 2nd in the point standings. Very quietly consistent has been Mayer this year for Haas in the 41. New team for him as well, after spending the last couple of seasons with Junior Motorsports, for Carson Kvapil taking his ride in the number 1 this year, who is also winless, oddly enough. So, had quite a few different winners. The only 2 drivers with more than 1 win have been Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill, each at 2. And really, neither one of those 2 have been in the top 5 for very much of this race. Allgaier, speaking of which, is currently battling his teammate Connor Zilisch for 7th. Dash for cash still very much up for grabs for Justin Allgaier, even though he doesn't seem to have a race-winning car. Currently, Sammy Smith, his teammate in 4th, is the highest dash for cash competitor. And then Justin Allgaier in 8th would be the 2nd highest dash for cash car. Carson Kvapil in 9th. And Sheldon Creed out of the race, I believe, would be the last of the 4 dash for cash competitors. Allgaier slips to the inside of Zilisch finally through 3 and 4. Off the exit of the corner, he is clear for 7th. So the number 7 moves up to P7. Also remember, though, that Ryan Sieg had hit pit road earlier than Jesse Love, who was in 2nd, and really most of the field. Eckes in 3rd, Retzlaff in 5th are on the same pit strategy as Sieg. They pitted 10 laps before everybody else. Now, not 10 green flag laps because we had laps under yellow. Really, we only have a couple extra green flag laps of fuel that has been burned for the 39 plus a few caution laps. Is that going to be a difference maker the closer we get to the finish? Because he's not going to be able to save with Jesse Love within a 2nd of the lead. Sure, Jesse's not all over his back bumper, but he's putting enough pressure on him that you can't save with a 1-second lead or less. Very little you can do to do that without losing too much time. Yeah, we got a lot of wrestling fans in that. Talking about WrestleMania. Cool to see. Yeah, I'm stoked. The Daytona 500 is like Christmas morning for me. WrestleMania, it's up there. It's definitely one of the better days of the year. I'm still not used to the fact that it's 2 nights, but I better get used to it because I probably sound like an old head. This has been going on for 6 years now. I'm not used to it yet. I don't think I ever will be. Jesse Love was a little bit quicker the last couple of laps than Ryan Sieg. The lead's down to half a second. 4/10 now at the line that last time by. 41 laps to go. Brandon Jones and Carson Kvapil battling. Jones, the other dash for cash competitor, by the way. Sorry, not Sheldon Creed. I apologize for that. Wasn't in the top 10 at the moment, so I couldn't find him on the leaderboard. So he's starting to move forward pretty quickly. Jones was up in the top 5 early in the race. I'm not sure exactly how he lost track position. I'm not sure if it was just the restarts here in Stage 3 that he might have had a couple bad ones in a row. Maybe he lost a lot of time on pit road and everybody came down with about 90 laps to go under that second to last caution. But Jones has worked himself back inside the top 10 and now slid up to 9th. So 3rd of the 4 dash for cash competitors is Brandon Jones. Sieg trying to get through lap traffic quicker than Jesse Love, who runs in 2nd place behind him. Love clearing the 07 of Emron Lee, who's still out on the racetrack after a crash he was involved in earlier in the stage. When Love has had the clean air today, he is at times, if not has had, the fastest car in the field. If he gets the lead from Ryan Sieg, the question is would he ever lose it? And I don't think so. Especially knowing we've already seen the final pit stop. Even with late cautions, drivers are going to stay out and keep track position. It's going to be the name of the game today. And we still are a long ways from the finish, in the case of which we have 36 laps to go. And Sieg's lead is only about 3 to 4 car lengths at most. No lap cars between the two. And a lot of clean air for the 39 now. He doesn't have any lap cars he's going to have to work with for a while. We haven't seen much lap traffic today because of how many cautions we've seen. That's why there's so many cars that are still on the lead lap. 28 cars on the lead lap. So if we get into heavy enough lap traffic, if it stays green to the end, that could be a difference maker in this battle for the race win. And maybe could be the one thing that keeps Ryan Sieg in the race if he loses the race lead to Jesse Love sometime soon. He's got to be sure to not let Love pull away if Jesse gets by him, and try to stay close just in case lap cars cost Love the lead right back. How patient is Jesse going to be, knowing there's a lot of time left? Will he be patient at all? He's going to run a slightly wider line through 3 and 4 this time. 33 laps left at the line. He's going to have more straightaway speed down the front stretch. Try to use whatever draft he can. Headed towards turn 1. Going to run that middle to upper groove again through 1 and 2. Rolls the center of the corner a lot better than Ryan Sieg. Gets to the back bumper of Sieg. Got him a little arrow loose. And here comes Jesse Love. Charged to the bottom of the track through 3. Off of turn 4, side by side. Towards the start-finish line, Ryan Sieg will lead this lap. And they'll be door-to-door into turn 1. Nose to nose now. Love on the bottom against Sieg on the top, trying to hold him tightly. Ryan Sieg again holds to the outside. Great job by Ryan Sieg on the top. He's not getting the 2 car out in front easy enough. And he holds on. Power move on the outside for Ryan Sieg. He's clear off turn 4. What a battle. Ryan Sieg holds on strong. Still 31 laps to go. They were door to door for a good lap and a half. Love was so close to clearing off turn 2 a lap ago. Couldn't quite do it. And then a very deep drive in on entry for Sieg, staying committed to that outside lane through 3 and 4. And holds on yet again. This is getting good. Got 2.8 seconds back to Christian Eckes in third. So these two are a long ways ahead of everybody else that is in the top 5. By the way, in the truck race yesterday, when I was talking about how many cars are on the lead lap with all the cautions we've seen today, twice as many yellows as what we had in the truck race so far. To this point, really through the first 200 laps of this race, which was the entire race length for the truck event yesterday. But needless to say, 8 trucks. Actually, no, Corey Hunt finished 8. 7 trucks finished on the lead lap yesterday. And we have, again, 28 on the lead lap right now. Because this would be the longest green flag run if we stayed green to the end, by far, really. So there definitely will be lap traffic before the finish. Jesse Love fell out of the side-by-side battle for the lead, and he's been consistently 4 to 5 car lengths back. Hasn't been directly close to that back bumper of Ryan Sieg yet. Sieg has taken that middle to upper groove away from Jesse Love, which is what Love was using to close the gap in the first place on the 39. So now Love's having to roll the bottom of the racetrack, and he's just not able to run that line as well as he was the middle to top. But if he is to run the middle to top as he tried through 1 and 2, Sieg is up there, dirty air. He's not going to get his car to rotate as much through the middle of the corner as he was, because that's where he was really beating the 39 in that first attempt at trying to pass him for the race lead. Mike Goff, welcome to the stream. Casey Kane, 22nd for Casey. Just saw him on the bottom of the CW leaderboard. Big gain again through 1 and 2 for Love. Sieg might have made a slight mistake of some sort. Jesse going even wider through 3 and 4. Sieg in the middle, half a lane higher for Jesse Love. He's doing everything he can to try to find a different line and find speed to get alongside of Ryan yet again. 25 laps to go. What a battle these two are putting on. It's been clean so far, too, on a very hot, slick racetrack with a lot of grip, very fast mid-corner speeds. Mistakes have been made all weekend long trying to make tight passes, and here we are again, side by side with 24 laps to go. Love just sneaking to the inside off the exit of turn 4. Was hung up on the left rear corner panel of Ryan Sieg for a bit, and Sieg is clear off turn 2, the second chance at trying to take the lead for Jesse Love in the final 35 laps. And again to no avail, and now he overdrives the entry to 3. Big wiggle, and he's going to lose a lot of time. Car against the wall, caution's out. Well, that ruins that. Blaine Perkins has hit the wall and has stopped on the racetrack on one of the ends of the racetrack. Not sure exactly which one. Well, chance to breathe, at least for a little bit, but the caution's out for the 11th time today at Rockingham. That was a heck of a battle for Ryan Sieg and Jesse Love for about the last dozen laps. Oh, man, big hit for Blaine Perkins. Looked like the right front tire might have blown out on his Chevrolet, and surprised it doesn't look like it has as much damage as it should, but he pancaked the wall pretty good. He's made his way to pit road, and window net being down, he will be done for the day, but he was able to drive it back, surprisingly. Love drives for Richard Childress Racing in the number 2. He had 1 win last season. He's got 1 win already this year, both on super speedways. Winning at Daytona this season, Talladega last year in the spring. So looking for his first non-super speedway win in the Xfinity Series here today. And I think he's had the quickest car, but he's stuck in traffic in second. By the way, sneakily, Justin Allgaier's up to 5th, and he's only 1 spot out of the Dash for Cash lead from Sammy Smith. So we'll have to watch that battle as well now that they're bunched together for a restart coming up with less than 20 laps to go soon. Ryan Sieg did a great job holding on to the lead. Slight mistakes that allowed for Jesse Love to close, but then Love was making mistakes overpressing, trying to make the pass, which is very difficult to do on this freshly repaved Rockingham surface. Just the mid-corner speeds are so high. There's not as much off-throttle time. It's hard to beat the car in front of you. Not to mention the groove isn't very wide because it's fresh asphalt coming into the weekend. Throughout the course of each of the truck and Xfinity races, the line is slightly moved wider, but not by much. Couple cars on the pit road. Retzlaff, Zilich, Harrison Burton, Carson Kvapil, Nick Sanchez are in.
And if you're those drivers up front, you can't give it up. But if you're someone that wasn't going to win anyway,
Right.
I mean, Carson Kvapil among them, you say, hey, what? I tell you what, I'm going to come down and get service and make sure I can make. What's good road, Dylan?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it for a couple cars. You see how tight it is on pit road there as these guys pull in and out of the pit boxes. Parker Retzlaff is in. They'll put tires on. They also had pitted on lap 150, which is the same as Ryan Sieg. So just a little insurance here to make sure that they do not run out of fuel. Zilich had pitted on, I believe, lap 160. He did on lap 50. So they'll come down tires on too as well and just try and salvage what has been a very up and down day for them.
And you mentioned it, Jamie. Sometimes you do your numbers looking at a green white checker possibility. What if we...
Jojo in the chat asking if Sieg has enough gas for the win. You would hope so. He's had 2 cautions since he last pitted. This is the second. You know, how much more fuel is he saving? During the yellow flag, is it enough? The more we get, the better for him. I don't know that the caution helps or hurts him. It helps him because he's able to save gas, but it hurts him at the same time because now he's got more than just Jesse Love to deal with. There's some fast cars that were gaining ground there that restarted a little further back on that last restart and took quite some time to get in the top 5 like Sammy Smith and Justin Allgaier, but they're there now. Got 3 Dash for Cash cars that are currently running 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we know that's going to be an aggressive battle for the $100,000 bonus. As well, they still have a shot to win if things go haywire at the front of the field, which it very much could. We got almost 200 people in the chat. Greatly appreciate that. Only 109 likes, though we did get to our like goal of 50. More than double that, over 100. Be sure to hit the like button. Helps these streams out a ton. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't yet as well. We are very, very close to 6,000 subs. We came into the day, started the stream specifically 41 away. We're currently 26 subscribers away from our 6,000 benchmark here on the channel. So appreciate everybody that has hit the subscribe button. Definitely do so. We have live NASCAR commentary like this every NASCAR race weekend, Truck Xfinity Cup races, Cup practice qualifying. I'll be at Dega for the Cup race again next week if you are just tuning in. So there won't be commentary for the Sunday Cup race next week, but we'll have all things Saturday between ARCA, Xfinity, and Cup Series qualifying in the morning, triple header, and then race highlight videos from the grandstands for the Sunday Cup Series race. We'll take a quick break. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. I already gave him the one to go signal. I waited too long to get it in there. If we get another caution, then I'll worry about it later. I won't do that to you guys. I waited too long. That was a very quick caution. I was expecting more laps to be ran under yellow. Great job by the safety team cleaning that up as quickly as they did. We're going to have 18 laps to go on the restart. Sieg is elected to take the inside line. So Jesse Love will be outside of row 1. Love has been great in the restarts today. Ryan Sieg, the last 2? Well, he's 2 for 2. Can he go 3 for 3 and holding on to the lead, though he has not had to hold off a fast car like Jesse Love on the front row until now. It's going to be good. It's been good so far. A lot of cautions early in stage 3, but outside of that, I thought this race, all from start to where we're at right now, has been really good. I'd say one of the better Xfinity races of the season, honestly. And we'll see if we have one of those classic Xfinity Series finishes on the intermediate tracks coming up here as well. Sieg was a part of one last year in Texas with Sam Mayer. We shall see if he's a part of another one today. Green flag in the air. Jesse Love, outside of row 1, spun the tires on the restart. And the aid of Sammy Smith is going to get underneath him into the first turn. For a brief moment, now Love's clear off turn 2. Sieg obviously clear of Love by a couple car lengths as well. Christian Eckes in third just about scraped the wall up off of turn number 3. Turn 2, rather. He got against the wall in the last restart as well. Side-by-side battle between Justin Allgaier and Brandon Jones for 4th. Allgaier on the bottom of the racetrack. Top of the racetrack is currently Brandon Jones in the 20. Big run through 1 and 2 for Jesse Love on Ryan Sieg. Gains a lot of ground. And he's going to run that middle to upper groove on entry into the corner. Sieg didn't slide up to that line until the center. Pretty equal off the exit, though, for both cars. 16 to go. Jesse Love enters wide through 1 and 2. Kind of diamonds the corner off because then he's down by the white line center off. Jesse's done a great job trying a different line on a consistent basis while still hitting his marks and getting out of rhythm. And speaking of out of rhythm, out of the groove is the 39. The 2 slides the rear tires a little bit as he gets to the inside. And cautions out just behind him as they were door to door for the lead into turn 1. I don't know who had it. Nose to nose for the lead into turn 1 as Daniel Dye crashes further back in the field, warranting our 12th caution of the event. It goes back to the last timing and scoring loop. Casey Kane also involved in that incident, by the way. Tough break for Casey in his return to NASCAR this weekend. So Casey Kane, Daniel Dye, the reason for this 12th caution. It looks like Ryan Sieg will retain the lead again. Saved by the yellow. Perhaps. It's like the 91 also got a piece of Daniel Dye's left front. 3-car crash in turns 3 and 4. They're all towards the back of the lead lap. Josh Bilicki in the 91, Daniel Dye in the 10, Casey Kane in the 33. Man, what a race. Honestly, I think I think this is the best Xfinity race we've seen this year. Let me know in the chat, has this been your favorite Xfinity Series race of the season? Yes or no? I think this has been a good race. A little too many cautions for my liking in stage 3, but it's not. For some reason, it doesn't feel as out of control as Martinsville was several weeks ago. And I think a lot of it is because guys are losing control of their cars and they're not just flat out getting dumped over and over again like they were at Martinsville. Like, there's been respect, but with this fresh asphalt, the fast mid-corner speeds, the ambient temperature and track temps being high, it's making for a slick track, a fast slick track. Passing has been tough, but not impossible. And, I mean, the best races are when drivers are on the edge of control like they have been here today. Angry Hubby, welcome to the stream. Steve should be in Cup a long time ago. Very sad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of it. I mean, I'm sure he, in a perfect world, would have loved to have gone to Cup Series full time. But being a family-owned team in the Xfinity Series is just a completely different, animal. It allows for him to be able to do this. And that team wasn't always this good. And, the last couple of seasons, he's been flirting with getting that win and made the playoffs one year, consistently on points, and they've come a long ways from where they first started. Definitely cool to see a family-owned team do something like that and compete with the big boys of Junior Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, on a weekly basis. And having opportunities like this to try to go for a win. So Ryan Sieg and Jesse Love. Front row here. Another caution. More fuel saving can go on for Sieg, who pitted 10 laps before the other drivers around him. Christian Eckes in fourth, also on the same pit strategy as Ryan Sieg. "12 laps to go." Oh, Sieg slow on the front stretch. He's going again. He was very slow on the front stretch. He lost a few positions. He got the car back down to the apron, and he was able to get the car refired again. I think in the center of the banking, the fuel load was so light that he had lost gas, and now he's down on the apron again through 1 and 2, trying to keep fuel in the car again. He's out. Oh my goodness. He's got to be out because he keeps losing spots in the middle of the corners. Ryan Sieg is sputtering under caution on fuel late here at Rockingham after leading a ton here in stage 3. What a heartbreak. Is he going to get to the restart? Is going to be the next question. He slotted himself down in the bottom lane of the racetrack. Going to have 10 laps to go. He's now the 4th car in line on the inside. He would have been the leader. That moves Sammy Smith to the front row on the inside of Jesse Love. And so one of our Dash for Cash competitors trying to go for his first win of the year. And Love, who probably has the fastest car, is now out in front. Green flag back in the air. The 16, who is also low on fuel. Oh, we got a big wreck in the center of the triangle. The 16 couldn't get fired, and it stalled everybody out behind him. They're still crashing down towards turn 1. Not a parking lot per se, but a lot of fast cars involved in the crash. Justin Allgaier with severe damage. Our current points leader, Nick Sanchez, took some big hits. Carson Kvapil had heavy damage. Ryan Sieg got spun back across the racetrack. I'm not sure if he sputtered on the inside as well, but the 16 of Christian Eckes, who was on the same pit strategy as Sieg, ran out of gas in the restart zone, couldn't get going, and they all stacked up behind him. Sanchez hit hard. I think he hit the concrete wall in the front stretch before the safer barrier getting into the corner. It was a big hit for Nick Sanchez, who started out in front, won stage 1. Obviously, the 16's got a lot of damage. He started the incident when he had sputtered on fuel. He was second in line on the outside. He didn't get going just before the start-finish line. The 7 runs into the back of him. The 19 into the back of the 7, 20 rather, in the back of the 7. It was on from there. Yeah, 7 got into the back of the 16. 16's out of gas. 20 gets turned by the 48 into the 39. 39 back across the 7 and the 48 and the 87 all piled in on the outside. The 7 was backing from the outside wall in reverse down to the bottom of the track, and he had collected the 1, his teammate Carson Quapple as well. The big one has caused our first red flag of the day in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. My, oh my. We had 2 of them yesterday in the trucks. Our first red flag here. Major cleanup on the front stretch. 9 laps to go at Rockingham here on KRC for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Also, the driver's eyes makes it incredibly tough to see.
That's a good feeling when you do make it through that. Jeff Burton being on the inside is able to clear those guys.
Massive change in track position, Jeff Burton.
I'll tell you who this did benefit. Smith, you mentioned second runner for the Dash for Cash. Allgaier was caught up in that. Wapple's caught up into it. Jones caught up into it. He's in a great position right there. And I love, they asked him, what are you going to spend the $100,000 on if you win it? And his response was, my fine. And I'm like, that's an ultimate response for somebody to talk about.
Yeah, it's serious motivation today.
Totally, yeah. And I am very, Sammy.
The cars. Our 13th caution of the day has led to our first red flag. A lot of damage, a lot of debris.
Yeah, I know how you guys felt at Martinsville now. I totally.
Yeah,
You're not even close yet.
we'll take a break. Man, what a dramatic day. Wild finish coming. Crash on a restart inside and 10 to go. Fuel mileage has in fact been a factor.
We don't have the full list of names that were involved in the incident quite yet, but definitely quite a few involved. Jesse Love is our race leader under red with 9 laps to go. Sammy Smith is scored in second. Sam Mayer third. Taylor Gray fourth. Austin Hill rounds out the top 5. Jeb Burton is snuck up to 6. Parker Retzlaff is back to 7th. Harrison Burton 8th. Connor Zilic 9th. And Christian Eckes rounds out the top 10 after just running out of gas, and he's got a lot of damage, so he's not going to stay up in the top 10. Josh Williams will probably slide up into 10th, assuming he doesn't have any damage from the incident. Brendan Poole is 12th. Ryan Sieg, 13th. He's definitely not going to remain there. He's got damage. Matt DiBenedetto, 14th. Jeremy Clements, 15th. Carson Quapple's got a lot of damage in 16th. But again, the red flag has frozen the field, so those guys haven't cycled backwards in the running order yet. Thomas Annunziata, 17th. Anthony Alfredo, 18th. Dean Thompson, 19th. Chris Wright, 20th. Josh Bilicki, 21st. Casey Kane, 22nd. Patrick Emmerling, 23rd. Daniel Dye, 24th. And Justin Allgaier, 25th. Quite a bit of damage on his car. I think Allgaier is going to be done. 26th, rather. Austin Green. Brandon Jones, 27th. Kyle Sieg, 28th. Is the first car lap down. Nick Sanchez, 29th. Garrett Smithley, 30th. Vasante Salas, 31st. William Sawalich, 32nd. Blaine Perkins, 33rd. Ryan Ellis, 34th. Greg Van Alst, 35th. Justin Bonsignor, 36th. Sheldon Creed, 37th. Catherine Legg, 38th. That rounds out our field.
Fired up about NASCAR making their return to Rockingham. Construction began here in the Sand Hills, 1965. That was great. Hall of Famer Richard Petty.
Did a little paving.
Yeah. We said it yesterday during practice. He was not here when they did the repave, 2022. But so much history over the years. Curtis Turner getting that first. And now here we are, 2025. 21 years since the last Xfinity race here, and the fans have shown out for what has been a spectacular day.
Bandstand just as packed.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. They're getting their money's worth.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoy
Speaking of
what
which,
we're seeing.
Carson Oaksford got his truck bought that on Facebook Marks, by the way. Let us all know.
Oh, it is Carson down there.
I love that, man. Right.
I think I'll let you
He's
have
got the Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt with the Dale Earnhardt Sr. truck.
You had
That's a look. I had an Earnhardt shirt on earlier today.
a schmedium at that.
A schmedium.
No, it wasn't a smedium. It was a small.
Right.
All right, the cars have refired. Let's.
And catch up with Danny Stockman here real quick on the 2-car as the crew chief. Okay, just wanted real quick. You guys are good on fuel, right?
Yeah, we're good. We're about 13 laps to the good, but as it keeps going, you just never know, and you got to keep the banking so steep that you got to keep the box and the fuel cell filled, and there's just a lot of unknowns. Our car's been as fast as Xfinity and she's done an amazing job. Pit road's so narrow. We've had some pit road issues, but other than that, the car's just been really strong all day, and Jesse and the guys have done an amazing job.
How impressed have you been with your driver's maturity and how he's handled all this today?
Well, just the aggression that you see him on the restarts and how he's maneuvering through traffic has just been pretty awesome to watch. So I think for the fans to watch and some to be able to come back to Rockingham and be able to race in front of all these amazing fans.
2 cars looking good.
I think I would completely agree with Danny on everything he said right there. The one thing that I question though is I wonder why Jesse wouldn't get down off the racetrack onto the apron, kind of a little bit flatter. That you would, as you mentioned, as you're trying to keep the fuel in a certain part of the fuel tank and on the banking, 24 degrees in turns 3 and 4 here, all the fuel runs to the left hand side, and that's why 16 run out on the restart. It's not that you're out of fuel; it's the pickup, the part that picks the fuel up, and the tank is out of fuel.
And to give you, some context, that you see the 8 there on the apron, the 41's on the apron.
Yeah.
She ran out at the front of the field at Talladega with about 3 gallons still in the fuel cell because it just didn't stay up in the pickup. So as Danny alluded to, they should be good on fuel, but it's all about keeping it in that pickup in a little box that's at the back right of the fuel cell. And if you let air get in there, which you won't know as a driver until you hit that throttle, if that's happened, you can see an engine just die without warning, and it can dead, and you have enough fuel cell to go to the end.
Have not gotten the 1 to go signal yet. We're currently at 6 laps to go, so we're going to have 4 less laps left on the restart. Again, Jesse Love, our current race leader, Sammy Smith in 2nd, Sam Mayer 3rd, Taylor Gray 4th, Austin Hill 5th, Harrison Burton in 6th, Jeb Burton 7th, Parker Retzlaff, the top 8 in our NASCAR Xfinity Series North Carolina Education Lottery 250 at Rockingham Speedway. We got almost 200 people in the chat, 123 likes. We've more than doubled our goal here today. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. We are 23 subscribers away, last time I refreshed, from 6,000. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not done so yet. Yeah, still 23 away as of right now. And stay tuned for more live commentary NASCAR content. Again, Cup Series is off tomorrow, so that's going to be it for today. And for the rest of the weekend following tonight's stream, happy Easter, early Easter to everybody for tomorrow. And our next live commentary stream will be at 10:30 a.m. next Saturday morning. 1 week from today. And it'll be Cup Series qualifying at Talladega. Triple header next Saturday. We got Cup qualifying in the morning. Again, 10:30 a.m., 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. We will have the ARCA race at Talladega. The return of Cletus McFarland. And we will also be live for the Xfinity Series race at 4 p.m. Eastern next Saturday as well. I'll be at the Cup Series race on Sunday. But triple header live commentary streaming on Saturday, and race highlights from the grandstands will be uploaded on the channel Sunday evening into the night. So appreciate it, everybody. Donna Thomas, welcome to the stream. Wade, welcome to the stream. You'll get it. Yeah, we're gonna get very close to 6,000 by the end of the stream. I hope we get there. I don't want to wait till next weekend. I don't want to have to wait like 6-7 days during the week. Let's try to get there here today. Get to that nice round number. All right, we're about to get to a restart again. We're gonna have 4 laps to go. Sammy Smith, Jesse Love on the front row. Love on the outside. Smith on the inside. Green flag back in the air. Early in the zone was the launch for Jesse Love. Great restart for Sammy Smith on the bottom this time. Might have a chance to take the lead into the first turn. As he slides up clear of Jesse Love. Love is slow off of turn 2, and he's going to have to back way out of the gas. He now is in third. Sam Mayer got checked up just behind him. Now battles Harrison Burke for 4th into turn 3. Tough break for Jesse Love, following all the way to 3rd place. 3 wide, contact, front stretch, trying to evade the loose Sam Mayer, who is sideways on turn 4. Zilich 3 wide to the inside, contact with Jeff Burton. He's sideways in the middle of the corner and clips the 41. Caution is out again. And they're crashing even still down the back straightaway. Hard hit for Sam Mayer. That was after the 41 got clipped in the right rear by Zilich, who was sliding down the track behind. Another late race caution. 14th yellow here today at Rockingham, the second most all season. A couple weeks ago at Martinsville, we had 15. We're 1 away from that here today. This is the longest Xfinity race of the season. We've eclipsed almost 3 hours. To put into perspective how long this race has gone today, the Cup race last week at Bristol, 500 laps, was 2 hours and 38 minutes. This Xfinity race today is 2 hours 51 minutes, and that's not even counting the red flag we had with 9 laps to go following a big crash on the last restart. If we included the red flag, we'd be up over 3 hours right now from the start of the race. My goodness. This was a great race when we've had racing, but we have had a lot of cautions. I might start to backpedal on what I said earlier of this being the best race of the season because it's been sloppy at times. Oh boy. It hasn't been atrocious like Martinsville, but it's getting there. It's getting close. Then I'm late for WrestleMania. WrestleMania's starting right now and I haven't even left yet. Oh no. I'm going to miss I was scared I was going to miss the first match. I think I'm going to miss the first 2 or 3 matches at this rate. I'm going to miss half the card. Appreciate you tuning in though. Sticking it out. As always. Have we eclipsed 200 people in the chat yet? I think we have. No, actually, that last caution drew away 10 viewers. They've had enough. They're like, nope, this is just too much crashing for my liking. I don't blame you. Overtime again. Where have we seen this before? Ace Alshire, welcome to the stream. Godzilla Legendary 2078. Yep, we're going to OT. Where have I seen this before? I feel like every weekend, one of the top 3 series goes to overtime in NASCAR. I mean, more often than not. Not every weekend. That might be a little bit of a hyperbole, but it's a lot of the time. Mayer out of his race car.
Well, you referenced it, Parker.
Well, now fuel.
1-2 here. Sammy.
Fuel was an issue already. It's really going to be an issue now that we're going past the scheduled distance. Crazy. Had a bad boat crash at Lake Norman fishing tournament today. Oh boy. Hopefully there's no major damage. Sid Vick, welcome to the stream. 197 was the highest you saw. What? I could check on here. See what the highest. It's only showing what I'm at right now. Dang it. Yeah, say 164. That ain't right. My analytics are weird. Sometimes it's up to date when it's live, and sometimes it's not, and I have to wait like 48 hours after the stream is done to see what the peak was. Sammy Smith might get it done today. Man, Jesse Love, who's had the fastest car today, losing 2 spots on the restart, falls to 3rd. I don't know what happened. Did he just overdrive turn 2? Red flag again, by the way. Our second red flag in the final 10 laps. We had 2 red flags in stage 3 yesterday in the trucks. 2 of them here in the final 10 laps of the Xfinity race here today. And to get past the scheduled distance, we will be in overtime.
Racing. Our box score today had 14 cautions so far. We have an overtime finish. Let's go with a second red flag, okay? I mean,
Why not?
Let's continue to check the boxes down to Dylan.
Jason Ratcliffe calls the shots for Taylor Gray, and they will restart in the second spot. Okay, lap 160 is when you guys pitted. There's been a couple other guys with issues. Any concerns for you on this restart?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, a lot of concerns, not just with fuel. I mean, it's been a good race today. Welcome to Rockingham, right? I know why the stands are filled. These fans are getting their money's worth today. So, yeah, we're close. We're in, but if we get a couple more of these cautions, we probably won't be. But it doesn't matter at this point. We're in the spot we want to be in. Taylor's done a nice job all day, so can give that there's money.
I know you haven't forgot about what happened at Martinsville with that 8 car. Is there?
Oh, geez, I forgot about that. Oh, no.
Race him. No, I mean, that's over. I think
Is it over?
Race him already with it. But no different than he would race anyone else for his first win. So we'll see what happens. All right, going to be a lot of fun.
I didn't even think about that.
Sure, Ratcliffe has won here before as a crew chief with their own Jamie McMurray, so trying to get another one here today.
Yeah, and Dylan, what a great leader.
Sammy Smith, Taylor Gray, round 2.
A mind of reason, right? Like, no, we're not going to go out and
Get out the boxing
race
books.
him the same way we would race anyone.
Well, he says
I
that.
think Taylor's so have a guy like that in his ear.
Not just a great leader, he's a winner. And he's done it more than anybody on the pit box in the history of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So let's go to this. And you look at laps since their last pit stop. And there's going to be a question mark with Sammy Smith, Taylor Gray, and Jesse Love just because there's so much uncertainty. But there is no mark for the guys 4th and 5th. Parker Retzloff, Harrison Burton, they came 21 laps ago. They are absolutely going to get after it. And if there's any hesitation in front of them,
we're going to see another upset
in position to take advantage.
100%. We already saw it out of Jesse Love. We saw Sam Merritt have the issues. This is going to be really tight for some of those cars that are trying to stretch this fuel here. But for Parker, what a day this could have already been to run so well in the stages, to get the stage points they have. But for Alpha Prime, which has only ever had a handful of top 5s, they could be staring in the face the possibility of winning a race. That'd be absolutely massive.
It's our 10th race in 2025. We're in our 5th overtime. It has been some kind of wild today at Rockingham. Big finish coming.
Well, if that tells you anything, half the Xfinity races this season have gone to overtime. I told you it's like every week, at least one of the series goes in, and apparently it's been the Xfinity series half the season. At least. Regine Huddleston, welcome to the stream. We've got to be getting very close to our highest liked stream of the year for the Xfinity series, at least. I don't think anything's going to beat the ARCA Daytona race that we had. Well, maybe ARCA Dega if Cletus could stay in the race the entire time this time. That might beat it next week, but see here. We're 21 likes away from 6,000. Or sorry, 21 subscribers away from 6,000. Total likes on the stream, we are at 135. Lisa Jones, welcome to the stream. It is long. It's a long one. 3-hour Xfinity race. I mean, again, last week's Cup race was 2 hours and 38 minutes. And the 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 24 seconds you see towards the top of the screen on our stat sheet, that is elapsed time, not including the 2 red flags that we've had. The one right now and the one with 9 laps to go during the last wreck we saw into the restart zone. Shane Richards, welcome to the stream. I saw the Bragg commercial visually. I did not hear any commentary from it. Ads are muted for me. Not much daylight left. No, they got plenty of daylight. Plenty of daylight. They still got about 40 minutes yet. Not an issue. We don't usually have full post-race shows for the Xfinity or Truck Series races on the weekend, but you will still get to hear from whoever wins this race, post-race interview-wise. We'll go through the full field finishing order before we head on out of here, hit on some of the big stats from the race, but usually no major pre- or post-race show for the Xfinity truck races through the season. Cup Series, though, we go live about half hour to 45 minutes for the drop of the green flag. We do some NASCAR trivia, pre-race predictions, who I think will run well, not run well. We'll highlight the Fantasy League, and then get through the starting lineup and into the race. We'll highlight everything we covered in the pre-race, in the post-race, along with the race itself during the Cup Series. So if you're new to the channel, again, live commentary streams every NASCAR race weekend. Truck, Xfinity, Cup races, Cup practice qualifying as well. I will be at Talladega next weekend for the Cup race, so no live commentary for the race itself, but we will have live commentary everything on Saturday from Cup qualifying, ARCA race, Xfinity race, but then I'll be leaving here. This spot that I'm currently doing this stream in now will be leaving here straight to Talladega. I got a 10-hour commute. It'll be a long day. I'm not going to drive all 10 hours that night. I'm going to drive, get within a couple hours, and then drive the rest in the morning following the fact. I stayed in Chattanooga one of the couple times that I had gone to Talladega before, and that's about 8 hours for me. So that's kind of like that sweet spot if I can get that far. And then, I don't have a checkout time till 10, 11 o'clock, and then that gives me, 3-4 hours to get to Dega from 2 hours out. That'll be perfect. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for next Saturday for drive time-wise. So I can drive into the night a little bit. I can still sleep in. I can get my free continental breakfast and then hit the road. And then watch some racing. Any during the week, maybe? Probably not. I'm actually going to a concert on Wednesday night. Any metalheads in the chat? I got a Trivium Bullet for My Valentine concert coming up on Wednesday night in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I've got a busy week lined up on top of going to see a Dega race. It's going to be a big, big week. Cletus will bring you millions of likes. YouTube, do it for Dale. I hope so. I don't know about a million likes. It's our most viewed stream of the year was the Daytona season opener for ARCA. We have done the ARCA, Daytona, and Dega races before, so I'm not leeching off of Cletus McFarland by any chance. I honestly had no idea I was even going to get that when I streamed Daytona. But we have done, this will be the third year in a row doing ARCA, Talladega, and it was the fourth year in a row doing Daytona for Talladega. Or, sorry, Daytona for ARCA season opener. But yeah, hey, I'm excited. That's what I mean. If we don't get to 6,000 subscribers this week, we're definitely getting there next week. I'd like to get there this week. So definitely hit that subscribe button. I don't know. I would like to think we've got enough people watching that aren't subscribed that we could get there. We're only, again, 21 away. But we are running out of laps. Unless they keep wrecking. Which could happen. Parker Retzlaff, 4th. Harrison Burton, 5th. Pitted a couple cautions ago in the late going into this race. They're plenty good on fuel. The top 3, they haven't pitted in quite some time. They've been on the apron of the racetrack, both ends of the speedway. Those 3 being Sammy Smith, Taylor Gray, and Jesse Love. History. A few weeks ago, Martinsville, that last race where we had 14-plus cautions like we did here today at Rockingham. It was Sammy Smith, Taylor Gray in the final restart. Sammy Smith drove through Taylor Gray. Neither one got the win. Here we are in the front row again. They're getting the one-to-go signal this time by. We're going to have Sammy Smith on the inside of row 1, Taylor Gray on the outside. Row 2, inside Jesse Love, outside Parker Retzlaff. Retzlaff has fresher tires, too. Now, I know we haven't had a lot of tire wear, And he also hasn't launched well in the restarts today either. Harrison Burton, inside row 3, also fresh tires. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Kyle Lance, welcome to the stream. Yeah, WrestleMania is on. Don't spoil anything for me, please. If the first match gets over right before the end of this stream. Greatly appreciate it. I do think Jey Uso is beating Gunther, but just in case. Do not spoil in the chat for me. Mike Fugit, welcome to the stream. IndyCar, month of May. Yeah, we'll be streaming the Indy 500 as well next month for the... It'd be the... I'm trying to think how many years now. 3rd consecutive year, because I was there in 22. So I didn't stream that year, but... Yeah, 23, 24, 25. That'll be coming up next month. All right, here we go. Smith and Gray. What will go down? Jesse Love, fastest car in the field in 3rd. All of them light on fuel. Pace truck pulls to pit road. First overtime restart attempt is underway. Green flag in the air. Launch early in the zone for the 8 of Sammy Smith. He's getting pushed from behind by the 2 of Jesse Love into the first turn. Smith is clear. Oh, he got shoved up the racetrack by Jesse Love, though. And Love is going to come out with the lead off turn 2. Through the speedy dry and into turn 3. Jesse Love was not wasting any time trying to get by Sammy Smith. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Can Sammy get back to him? He's about 3 to 4 car lengths back into turn 1. Parker Retzlaff is up to 3rd. He's hot on the heels of Sammy Smith off turn 2. No chance to catch our race leader, Jesse Love, after losing the restart for the lead 2 restarts ago. This one, he has enough fuel. He makes the move, first turn, and Jesse Love will get the win, his 2nd of the season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, as he will take the win in overtime at Rockingham. Smith again comes home 2nd. Parker Retzlaff 3rd. Harrison Burton 4th. And how about Brennan Poole 2nd top 5 of the season for him? Oddly enough, last top 5, Wreckfest at Martinsville, just like today. War of attrition races have worked out well for Brennan Poole this season. Taylor Gray comes home 6th. He was outside row 1 on that last restart. Austin Hill in 7th. Josh Williams 8th. Jeb Burton 9th. Daniel Dye rounds out the top 10. Jeremy Clements at 11th. Dean Thompson 12th. Brandon Jones 13th. Connor Zillage 14th. Casey Kane surprisingly finishes 15th with all the damage to his car. Multiple wrecks for him. Anthony Alfredo in 16th. Carson Quapple 17th. Josh Bilicki 18th. Ryan Sieg 19th. And 20th was Patrick Emmerly. Kyle Sieg 21st. Justin Allgaier 22nd. First car up the lead lap. He was 2 laps down in 22nd. 3 laps down for Garrett Smithley in 23rd. Christian Eckes 24th. And Vizante Salas 25th. William Sawalich 26th. Sam Mayer 27th. Matt DiBenedetto 28th. Chris Wright 29th. And 30th for Thomas Annunziata. Austin Green 31st. Nick Sanchez 32nd. 33rd for Blaine Perkins. Ryan Ellis 34th. Greg Van Alst 36th. Justin Bonsignor Greg Van Alst 35th. Then Justin Bonsignor in 36th. Sheldon Creed 37th. Catherine Legg 38th. Fuel mileage race 2 days in a row. Trucks yesterday. Tyler Ingram gets the win today. Jesse Love gets the win in the Xfinity Series. Love climbing out of the roof hatch. And you'll get to hear from him, who's once again our race winner. Nick Sanchez won stage 1, leading 52 laps. Most laps today was Ryan Sieg, all in the final stage. He led for 77 laps. Stage 2 winner Dean Thompson finishes 12th, leading 11. Our race winner Jesse Love led for 53. Second most laps of any driver today.
Jesse Love, spectacular race, spectacular finish, adds his name to the rock. Man, your crew chief Danny Stockman told Dylan under one of those late red flags how good the car was, but how good you were. How much of this was car and how much of this was driver?
Oh my gosh, these fans are amazing. It's one incredible racetrack. This is right up my alley. Hear me right now, but man, this racetrack's right in my alley. It's hammer down and gas. Okay, so I have such an incredible car as a fast Xfinity Mobile. I'm so proud of wheeling
RCR, ECR engine, CT springs, my whole crew, my pit crew. We had where our pit stall was located, who was coming around us. My pit crew stayed calm, cool, collected, and put us in position. So my car chief Bug is racing at Bowman Gray tonight, so we're gonna hop over there and see if we can get another win.
Another thing your crew team talked about and wanted to see from you was more aggressive restarts. You had great restarts all race long, specifically that final restart. What your approach?
I mean,
Sorry for the audio issues. CW's been having this all day.
He stumbled, but you know, Sammy. I know people are gonna think that it's Killer Martin, so but Sammy's never done nothing wrong to me, and yeah, I had to get it done. I mean, I couldn't really lose that one, so we just had too good of a piece. My girlfriend's sister passed away a year ago, yes, and you know, it's really sunny out today, and she died of skin cancer less than 2 weeks when she found out. So go get skin checked today or tomorrow or next week, and it's something you want to get ahead of. So this one's for Jessica, and I'm glad that we can get one victory lane.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A little emotion from Jesse Love. He adds his name, history books at Rockingham Speedway.
What a finish.
Habba Sports, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the safe wishes for next weekend. Again, we will still be live next Saturday. Start times beginning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with Cup Series qualifying at Talladega for the NASCAR Cup Series, followed by ARCA racing at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Immediately after, triple header concludes with the Xfinity race at 4 p.m. Eastern. That is next weekend's live commentary schedule. All Saturday, 3 streams, and then Sunday I'll be at Dega for the Cup race. Race highlights from the grandstands will be there for that. Margin of victory today for Jesse Love, 0.6 of a second. We did go 5 laps past the scheduled distance with 1 overtime. 135 laps in Stage 3, 255 laps total of an originally scheduled 250 laps, just under 250 miles. 2 hours, 59 minutes, 37 seconds. Total time on the race, 83 laps under caution with 14 yellows, 17 lead changes. That elapsed time of 2 hours, 59 minutes did not include the 2 red flags that were both in the final 10 laps of the race as well. Congratulations to today's race winner, Jesse Love, for his second win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. 140 likes on the stream so far. We didn't quite get to 6,000 subs, but definitely be sure to do both. Like, subscribe for more great daily, well, maybe not on the daily for the moment, but weekly NASCAR content, live commentary streams. We'll get back to the video game stuff at some time during the week. I've just been pumping in a lot of hours here getting ready for this vacation recently. So that is going to wrap up today's race stream. Have a good rest of your weekend. Happy Saturday night. Happy Easter tomorrow. I will not see you guys tomorrow. Again, no cup racing. And see you back better than ever. Again, Dega next week, everybody.